Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Draft 2024 Extravaganza podcast episode. This podcast is so successful that we are starting with a podcast extravaganza with 3 guests at the end. Sacha Boisvert, Emery, Cole Hutson, all going to be at the end of this podcast. And it's only our first episode. We haven't even explained to people what this is.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
People don't even know what they're getting into.
And this first episode is filmed in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas.
That's fucking crazy.
In our beautiful hotel room.
Yeah. Let's not flip the camera around.
Yeah, let's not flip the camera around.
Them around.
This place is a mess.
It's a mess. It's
this
bad.
place is a mess. So,
who's the dirtiest guy between you and I?
we already know the answer. It's you. Next question, okay? Next question. This week has been, honestly, one of the most hectic, but probably the most rewarding. We literally learned how to make a podcast just produced by us and our boy Ulyss right in the back right there.
Shout out 514 Edits.
Shout out 514 Edits. It's been an entertaining week. Vegas is nice. The fact that you're underage kind of makes it not ideal. But I would say that we found a way to have fun anyway.
Yeah, we had fun.
We did. So, I don't know if you guys know, okay? We're going to start off with number 1. Obviously, this is after the draft. The Montreal Canadiens drafted at 5th overall, Ivan Demidov. If people don't know, we genuinely sat outside the Bellagio fountains for 2 hours.
Dude, that was crazy.
Praying for this guy. for the video that we wanted to make. And we had to wait every 15 minutes, and you had to wait for a song to come on for the fountain to raise up behind you, and we had to time it that we knew exactly while it would be happening behind us.
Like, they weren't playing like some hype songs. They were playing what?
They're playing Lucy in the Sky.
The Titanic song. And like, we stopped filming when they played the song where it was the water was going like so much in the sky.
The Bellagio fountains are a scam.
Dude,
like if you watch every video about the Bellagio fountains, you're gonna see it's going up into the sky and this, that. Us, it's going from side to side.
No, what was the more hype song?
Tell me.
The national anthem.
Yeah, the U.S. national anthem. Oh my god,
that was crazy.
You see, yeah, and we had stopped filming at that point because we gave up and we were happy with what we got. But so we actually genuinely prayed for Demidov for 2 hours. Yeah. So you know what, man? Like yesterday, I was like, I really need Demidov. I wanted Demidov because out of all the dudes that were likely to fall to us, I would have been happy, honestly, with either Lindstrom or Demidov, as long as it was a forward.
Not Cedric Seguin?
No, Cedric Seguin, unfortunately, was undrafted. I know many of you are shocked. Maybe they saw the combine. Maybe they weren't impressed. Maybe they saw your draft interview questions. Maybe they weren't impressed. Go check out that video on our page called The Combine. But essentially, the only dude at number 5 that could cause damage was either Caden Lindstrom or Ivan Demidov. A defenseman would not have changed our lives.
No.
Let's be really honest. It wouldn't have changed our lives. I know there were great defensemen there. It would not have changed much for the Montreal Canadiens going forward.
But that Demidov big
But
man.
out of all the people left, Demidov being left there is huge. And I said it, that I think this is the biggest pick that the Canadiens have made since Alex Galchenyuk.
Even higher than that.
Yeah.
Since Guy Lafleur.
It's not crazy to say that.
Not crazy to say that. Like, Demidov's arguably the best player in this draft. Arguably the best. You see the fire in his eyes.
Disrespect to Celebrini there, but...
No.
Celebrini's skating is a little bit superior than Demidov's.
No diss to Celebrini.
A little bit.
But you don't see the spark. You don't see the fire in Celebrini's eyes when he plays. Demidov, dude, he wants that puck. He's a dog out there.
Yeah, that I will say. He has a very, 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 very high compete.
Like, what we need in Montreal is guys going for the puck.
Yeah.
You don't want squirrels watching. You want an eye of the tiger guy going for the puck.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
I definitely agree. So, when the first pick goes Celebrini, okay, next. The second one got me really scared.
Left
They end up picking Left Shunov, which I think actually, even though Demidov is going to be a great player, I think it still made sense for them to pick Left Shunov because eventually, okay, you have Bedard as a 1C, you have Demidov as a winger 2C, sure, but when are you ever going to build out your defense?
Yeah.
You could build it out through trades and stuff, but like, I don't know. I think it's a good pick. I think it's a good pick. It's a good, solid, assured, shutdown D. The third one, Beckett Seneke. My God.
Oh boy.
I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised.
Even said it.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he said it. He said it all, and I think that if there was one guy that was going to do it, it was Pat Verbeek. Just like how last year, if there was one dude that was going to pick Michkov, it would have been Pat Verbeek, and he took the chance on Seneke. And honestly, between that and picking Salayev, a defenseman, I'm curious what their strategy is going to be with that. I think they're anticipating that if they trade Zegras, they're getting a defenseman in return, which could be good news for the Habs if that's the route that the Canadiens want to go.
Even pick Beckett Seneke before Caden Lindstrom or Demidov.
Yeah,
and Ty Gilmour.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
like objectively, that is pretty insane. But I think they're making the same argument as they did with Slav in the sense that he had such a growth spurt in the last few months of the season that now he's like 6'2". He has so much room to grow into that body that the potential is so high. But I'm like, even then, why wouldn't you pick Demidov? Like, why wouldn't you pick Demidov at that point?
You know what? It's good.
It's fantastic. I'm so happy.
Good job.
I'm so happy. I think they're all going to be great players, especially in that top 5. Caden Lindstrom goes at 4. That I was pretty confident was going to happen. But then it came to the Habs. And genuinely, that was the most stressful 3 minutes on the clock I've ever witnessed in my life. Like, because you've got all the thinking of last year. You've got the thinking of the draft fast. So we're like, we've always expected a surprise. And we've always expected the Canadiens to go in a route that we didn't think that they would take. And this year, with all the comments that were made pre-draft, I was getting the sense that it was possible, but the trauma from the years before just led me to believe that it wasn't going to happen. Like when Jeff Gordon literally said, when asked about, Michkov last year, why would it be different with Demidov? He said, well, they're different players. For me, that was a great sign because, like, you didn't draft Michkov and you're saying they're different players. Well, different. If you're saying this is bad, well, this might be good. So that's as close as they were to showing their cards. But man, what a poker game! What a poker game from the Montreal Canadiens. Like, not going to the Florida camp, huge risk, in the sense that, like, they only met with him once, the day before the draft, like in person. Like, if that didn't go well for Demidov, people have an off day, whatever. You're telling me that, like, we wouldn't have drafted Demidov, which is insane.
I think we would have.
Bobrov mentioned that he had met with him for even years prior, which is insane. So this has been in the pipeline for a long, long time. Maybe it does indicate that it factored into the choice of not picking Michkov last year. I don't personally view, like, how not picking one Russian superstar is not because you want to take another necessarily. I think they would have taken both if they liked them both. I think they just didn't like Michkov's personality. But everything I've seen from Demidov so far, like the interviews, everything looks perfect, man.
It's all mint.
It's all mint. The guy he has, like, the same charisma as, like, Slav.
Yeah.
Like, he has, like, the accent. He smiles a lot. Like, just seems like a really great dude. And they even said it was, like, one of the most impressive draft interviews they've ever had, which probably says something. It says something. And for Nick Bobrov to even say, like, they compare him to Kaprizov and Kucherov, but, like, I think his ceiling could be amongst the greatest players in the league. I think people are underestimating, probably on the other teams, I think they're underestimating how much of a steal this was for the Montreal Canadiens at 5.
That was good.
It was insane. It was completely insane. And genuinely, when it happened, when Céline Dion got up there, she took her sweet-ass time. I understand, though, the vocal cord situation, everything, but man, she took her sweet time. It stressed the hell out of me. And when she said the word Ivan, I've never screamed louder in my life. And I think everyone that watched the video on TikTok probably realizes that we scream louder than we have in our entire life.
You see those videos on TikTok of people screaming in the bathroom? I think we're louder than that, man.
No. Literally, it was literally like the bathroom pranks where the guy's, like, screaming on the top of his lungs and the mic's about to blow out. I'm surprised our mics are still working today.
Dude, like, I was stressed when I was doing interviews yesterday. I was stressed.
Yeah. Sorry to all the headphone users. I think this is going to be a lot smoother to listen to than our TikTok videos.
I think we could do ASMR.
Yeah. We could do that.
ASMR fan TV. But
yeah, how about no?
How about no?
Like,
what I want to say on Demidov is, it's just like, we haven't had a game breaker in years in Montreal.
Yeah.
Arguably for the last 30 years. And I feel like this guy could be it.
No, this is the guy, man.
He's the man.
This is the guy. And I'm curious to see how it's going to disrupt the lines when he eventually makes his way over in a year. But, like, I'm not going to say the rebuild is done. But yesterday was the most significant step forward in Canadians' history for where this team wants to go.
You know what?
I'm really prepared to say something. Maybe you could just say right now that I'm fucking nuts, okay? But genuinely, I think that was like one of the most important draft moments of the last 2 decades for the Montreal Canadiens.
Even 3 decades. But the rebuild, what Kent Hughes, Jeff Gordon is doing right now, they might take their time, but heck, we're going to be good, man.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
You might not be patient at home, but those kids are going to be insane, and they're going to live Stanley Cup over their heads.
You know, and what's most important is, like, this year, we've had, like, a really, like, a season that, like, was good in the sense that the games were competitive. But, you know, for us that, like, show up to every game and interview people after every game, you felt that people were getting tired.
Yeah, towards the end, for sure.
I will even say I was getting tired of it.
But you for sure want to see your team winning.
It's not fun watching your team lose.
But it's not fun watching your team lose. But if you see the progression, and that's what we saw towards the end of the year last year. If you see the progression, damn, it's fun to do it. To watch the team.
Watching Slav
light it up.
Like, Slav and Nick Suzuki genuinely kept me watching the Canadiens last year, because otherwise, like, where we were and, you know, Kirby Dach being injured and everything, like, it killed the vibe at the beginning of the season. The beginning of the season, I was like, man, this is going to be long. But it ended up picking up towards the end of the season. I'm happy about that. At the end of the day, I, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, I wish we, like, what I used to say before this draft was, like, I wish we would have dropped more games just to get closer to getting Demidov. But you know what? Now that we have him, all that's perfect. Like, the pain was worth it, and the fact that we won a few games along the way did not eventually mattering. But I just want people to understand that, like, it very well could have been that Demidov would have been off the board because of where we were and because of everything that had happened. But I would say we got lucky. I think everyone severely did not appreciate how good this kid is. And the rumors about him being small, then turns out he's 6'1". Like, he goes from 5'11" to 6'1". That's a huge, like, 6'1". That's an NHL player. That's an NHL player that's considered big.
Yeah.
So, extremely ecstatic. It's a game changer. Like, every team has one dude that puts up 100 points. Every team.
We assume stuff about Demidov, but we can't assume, man.
No, we can't assume. But I'm just telling you that if there's one dude that has the most potential out of all of the players on the Montreal Canadiens right now to put up 100 points,
it's Demidov.
It's Ivan Demidov. Suzuki couldn't get close. Caulfield couldn't get close. Slavkovsky couldn't get close. Kirby Dach can get close. But really, talent-wise, pure talent-wise, the things that we've seen him do, even if, you know, people make fun of the MHL is not a great league, puck don't lie. Skating don't lie. That shit was real. Everything that we saw was real, man.
We should quote that.
Yeah. No, puck don't lie. Puck don't lie. So, I'm not going to assume a lot of things, but I don't want to put a pressure on anyone, but, like, that was the best possible outcome out of the draft. We would have been second. We would have finished second to last. We would have had the second overall pick. I still think Demidov would have been the best
100%.
pick. So, you know what?
Even first, I would have picked Demidov.
It's genuinely, it's like a season where we theoretically got the second overall pick. That's the way I view it.
It's perfect.
It's like, so we had a first overall pick, Slav. It's working out. Now we're going to have another second overall pick. We had Reinbacher last year. a good right D that we eventually would need, which is good. So
we've got our team set for the next few years.
Yeah.
If we could work the cap, give everybody a good contract to stay in the team, we're all set.
Yeah. The numbers are going to be off the books eventually. By the time Demidov comes, a lot of the numbers are going to be off the books. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be able to even add more to that. Oh, boy. Anyways, it's going to be very scary. I can't wait. Privet Ivan.
Privet Ivan.
So, hello, Ivan. Welcome to Montreal. It's going to be a really fun ride. And I can't wait. Now, after that, we have our second pick in the first round. Michael Hage. I think he's also Lebanese as well. So I don't know if that's the first Lebanese player that's picked in the first round. I'd love to check that out.
I'll check it out.
I would check that out. But backstory is his father was a huge Habs fan. Both of his parents are from Montreal. His father unfortunately passed away earlier this year. And obviously had some effect on him. And probably maybe his play at the beginning of the year is the reason why he dipped a little bit. But I'm going to tell you right now, all the people that I mentioned earlier that are going to be at the podcast episode, at the end of this, you can go check the timestamps. Nearly every one of those guys, when we asked who was your most underrated prospect, they all single-handedly said
Michael Hage.
Oh,
by the way, for the Lebanese
these people
player,
did not know each other. These people do, like, some of them play with each other. Obviously, Hutson and Emery play with each other. Sacha Boisvert is going to play with... It played against, I think, Michael Hage, and is going to play with...
But they were roommates in high school.
Yeah.
And for the Lebanese player, Kadri was the first.
Yeah.
In 2009.
But you see, yeah, so it took another 10 years to get another one, right?
And also, Michael Hage speaks fluent French. I know somebody who went to school with him, primary school in Toronto. And he went to a French primary school in Toronto.
Yeah, well, look, his French is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's like if I had to compare Kent Hughes' first press conference and Michael Hodge's first press conference there, it's pretty neck and neck.
Yeah.
It's pretty neck and neck. And Kent Hughes is actually, like, his press conferences have improved a lot in French.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell the difference. Like, just getting back into it, like, people don't underestimate how hard it is to not speak a language, like, especially French, for a while. Mm-hmm. And then jump back into it and have to do it. It's like insane.
Even me all week, like, we're speaking English all week.
Yeah.
I was asking interviews yesterday in French. Le si n'aime pas les raies, I was forgetting that shit.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah, maybe that's because you didn't sleep much the night before. That's why.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah, Vegas
baby.
You're dumb. Anyways.
But still, overall, the half draft, I give it an A. We draft some good players, but like my only question is like, at 6th, 7th round, why don't you draft a guy from Quebec? Martin Lapointe said it. We tried to draft a guy from Quebec in 6th round, but he was already taking. Shout out Antoine. The last name. He got drafted by the Blues, so shout out
Antoine Godin.
Antoine, no, stars by a D, from the Quebec Rempart. Shout out that guy, but still, drafting Nova Adrian Russia instead of a kid in Quebec who could develop. Shout out that kid in Quebec.
Listen, I'm best player available all the way. The only thing I will say about Quebec prospects being picked so late or not at all, I think it's a bigger indictment on the QMJHL and the players that are coming out of there than it is on the Canadians. I think the Canadians have nothing to do with that. I think it's just the quality of the players in the Q right now and the development, just even in minor hockey before that, is the big problem. Because if you look at it, there were as many players, Quebec players, that were drafted this year that came from other leagues other than the Q than the ones that did come from the Q. Which, theoretically, if you consider Quebec as the top league, why would you not have more Quebec players in the top league?
Yeah.
Of where you live. That's how it is in the OHL. There are very rare you'll find Ontario-born players going to college, and there ends up being more of the ones that took the college route than OHL.
And by the way, guys, Antoine Dorion.
Antoine Dorion.
Sorry. And like, it's crazy to think between the first and second Québécois pick, there's exactly 1 round. Like 1.5 round.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. The first Québécois, not even a Q guy.
Yeah. I don't know. Like maybe we do look at it wrong. Like I don't know how many Albertans were picked. I don't know how many, but we know what hockey means, especially in this province, and
But
it's disappointing.
do not even talk about like Albertans. Talk about the QMJHL.
Yeah,
Just
the
in
league
general,
itself.
the QMJHL.
I wonder, were there more players picked from the Russian leagues than the Q?
I watched all the rounds, and trust me, the NHL was named a lot. Even the VHL and the KHL, it was named a lot.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
That is pretty insane when you think
But
about
like,
it.
especially in Quebec, my take, I'm not gonna dive deep into that. There's way too many teams. You got high school teams, you got province teams, you got your region teams. You should narrow down those teams and do just like the GTHL in Toronto. That's what we should do in Quebec.
And how does that help any of it?
Because all the best player in the GTHL, so it's like the Grand Toronto
Yeah.
area. They go there. It's like a mini NHL, and like the development and like everything there is mint. There hasn't been like I think it was last year. I think like all the OHL guys, they play in the GT.
Okay.
All of them, and like the OHL is on the map right now. The OHL's on fire.
Yeah, obviously.
And like I know guys that went from Quebec to the GTHL and got drafted to the OHL, and that today made it to the NHL. There's one kid I played Pee Wee with him, Kevin He. Dude, that guy is a Winnipeg Jets tonight.
Oh, really?
He's a Jet.
Which round?
I think it's in the fifth.
Okay.
Fifth or fourth.
Well, yeah, I think it's just like we said, something in Quebec needs to change. And I know they had they changed the commissioner. The guy was supposed to come in and reform stuff, and in the end, they didn't let him reform anything.
But still,
It's
it's not going to change anything, because like whether or not the Q's not serious, like whether or not like after those players they're not going to play in the NHL, hockey's not going to be their job. It's sad to say, it's top 0.1%.
Yeah.
And the top 0.1% is like doesn't even make it in the AHL.
Yeah.
It's like average players, AHL or like fourth
Yeah.
line, stuff like that. So like to be in the queue and like to have to do like 2 classes of CJAB per semester, it's crazy. Like you have to do 4, but you could fail 2.
So basically, you end up being in CJ for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years.
And then you eventually go to university, which is insane.
And like what those kids want to do is do a DFP.
Yeah.
Which bring you on the work market like right away, but they don't allow it.
It's crazy. And you know what's funny is like we can actually tie it into your own experiences. Like you were playing pretty much high level, like you were playing D1 hockey
D1
for in CJEP, right?
Not CJEP. I played high school, but still like high school, like we were watch, but like it's not that serious. Like you talk about like there's kids like Sacha Boisvert who goes to prep school, they're watch, man. Like those kids in prep school, they take away their phone at 6, they give it back at like 8:30, and you need to like study between those times. Us, we'd go to Quebec and like it's have fun, man. Like we weren't watching. Like to be honest, like dude, not that our class wasn't the smartest. Like
okay,
we like and they were making us pass.
And in the end, what's interesting is like you said you had gotten an offer to either train or like you could have been drafted by a QMJHL team, and you figured it wasn't even worth it.
But like wasn't worth it. It's just like it would have been amazing, but like between the Q and like prep offers, like honestly the prep school side or the USA side is way better in terms of education. Like I know that hockey's not gonna be my job. Obviously, I'm doing TikToks and podcasts right now. But
and by the way, everything that we're saying is not a joke. This is not part of like his
it's not a joke.
His drafting. Like this is actually true story.
It's actually real. Like you see, like those prep school, they cost about like 50, 60K a year.
Yeah.
But like if you're good enough at hockey, if you got the grades, you could get like a scholarship and like pay 0 or like like 20% off, 40% off, 60% off, but still like super expensive. But like it's too bad. Like I'm good at hockey. I would have like the highest like offer I had is like 55% off, which is still like 25K a year.
Yeah,
but
no, that's a lot.
Like I'm not gonna make my parents pay 25K a year to me not going to the NHL.
Yeah,
but if I would have the potential, I would have done it.
Yeah. So, I mean that's like kind of the big problem with Quebec and the kind of how it's set up. So maybe that's something that they have to look at.
But like even like the BCHL, USHL, there's Quebec kids all over the place over there.
Yeah. I know. That's something I don't know. You know what? We'd have to one day we'll interview the QMJHL commissioner. We're gonna ask him all these questions. We're gonna ask him where do we bring this thing?
Yeah, but he get asked this all the time, but they leave it in delusion.
Yeah.
It's bad to say it, but they live in delusion.
Wow.
Like, yeah, the league gets laughed at and everything, but still, like we often win the championships, but
so it covers over the cracks of
like I don't put the blame on the QMJHL. I put the blame on Hockey Quebec and the minor leagues, because clearly the M18 AAA and RSQ, they're dividing the best players in the province, and there should be only one league grouping both. And we would have the best of the best players.
Yeah. Well, look, sounds like he's going to be a QMJHL commissioner by the time all this is done, so that's the good news. So let's move on to, the late round picks that the Canadiens made. I mean, obviously, third round pick, Aitos Koivu.
What's up, Kovi?
Yes, sir. Koivu's back, turns out.
Is he going to take 11? It could be a vibe.
Yeah,
but
could
Gallagher,
take 11.
Gallagher has it, but like by the time Kovi comes in, Gallagher's probably going to be...
Yeah, he's probably... probably Gallagher won't be there. So he could low-key take the 11 back.
Kovi a vibe.
That would be pretty sick.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Like, even to be...
He has to pan out. Out, goddammit. Like, get back in the gym, get big, Aitos, like... Because Montreal's waiting for you, man. Yeah. Like... That would be like, I grew up watching Koivu, and now I'm gonna watch Koivu's son. It's like LeBron James and like Bronny James playing on the same team. Like, what the hell just happened? I don't know. So they picked him.
Bronny's a fluke.
Here we go. It's gonna turn into a basketball podcast.
We're not gonna talk about it, but like Bronny, like, come on, buddy.
I mean, then we draft a few guys in the third and fourth, fifth. 6th and 7th, a mix of everything, really. I won't go into detail too much because I can't pretend. Like, listen, let's be really honest, okay? Not everyone watches the drafting report of everyone.
No.
We will know the first round pick guys because like we end up being curious, but after the second round, there's not much we know.
After the fourth round or even third round, they're all the same. More or less, all the same.
So, yeah. So I mean, the Canadiens. I think it was interesting that like you said, they drafted an overager from Russia. They drafted another goalie. Like another goalie, really? Anyways, but
last year we had 3.
But I understand. Yeah, that's it. But I understand now. The thinking is like, since it's so late, like might as well take a big swing. You take a big swing on a guy that like, okay, well, you know what? If everything pans out for this guy, he can be a carry price. He can be this. So. Then it ends up making sense why you end up seeing positions that like were already clearly like pretty stacked on being picked again. Like a few defensemen I think were picked. I think like we had one forward in the 7th as well.
Yeah, 1 forward in the 7th.
Yeah.
Let me know. I'm gonna say his name.
So that's it. So I mean,
our last P was Rasmus Bergqvist, which is a D from Skedlefli Jr. in the Swedish Junior. And we had a right wing called Makar Kanan.
Well, he's got Makar in it.
Makar
can't be bad.
Makar Kanan.
Like, yeah, there it is.
That's a sick name for real. From Russia.
Yeah. So, interesting. I mean, but at the end of the day, let's be really honest. The Canadiens had to do their big lifting in that first round, and they delivered. So, from my standpoint, great. Great draft. The best draft that I clearly ever witnessed in person. My voice is still shot. So all hands to Kent Hughes and everyone involved, because that was a Wentwoos masterclass.
Good job.
Yeah. Now, the last topic before we get into the podcast, okay?
Let's introduce our guest.
Before we get into the podcast, we're going to check the free agency a little bit.
Oh, boy.
And the trade talks. So, given now that we drafted Demidov and we drafted Michael Hage, what should the Canadiens' next priority be?
Okay. Hear me out.
Here we go.
You sign a big deal and you flip him.
Flip who?
You sign like a Stamkos, like a can't use fleece, and you trade him for picks.
Why would you do that?
Because Stamkos has a big value, and we don't need him in Montreal.
But why wouldn't the team sign him themselves?
Because he clearly, like, he has interest.
When has that ever been done in the history of the NHL?
I've done it in NHL 24.
Yeah, exactly. Stick to NHL 24, bro.
But
that makes literally no sense.
No, but still, it would be smart.
Bro, that makes no sense. They would go sign him. They would go sign him for that price point if that was the case. Why would they wait for another team to sign him at that price point?
Stamkos wouldn't be interested by that team.
Bro, best believe that Stamkos is the type of player that would ask for a no-move clause.
Yeah, for sure.
So your argument goes like to zero. Stick to NHL 24, okay? Me, I'm asking serious shit, fuck.
Okay, but signing Stamkos wouldn't be dumb.
Signing Stamkos, yeah. We're not flipping him for picks. Eventually, you flip him for picks. I thought that's what you were going to say. Sign him on a 2-year and then flip him for picks in the second year.
No,
I don't care. But what you just said
I'm just
makes
like,
no sense.
Stamkos starts the season in Montreal. He's having a hot 2 months, hot 3 months. You flip him like Christmas.
No. Because on top of it, they pay everything in signing bonuses. It's like wasted money. Like I doubt Molson would be down for that. I doubt. So I'm gonna throw what I think, okay, would be a good idea. Let me go for it, okay? I think the Canadiens should push for Martin Nietzsche's.
Oh boy.
I think they should.
You didn't even know it was Nietzsche's like 2 weeks ago, man.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, what number does he wear?
Who gives a shit? I only care about the number he's gonna wear on the back of his jersey in Montreal in bleu, blanc, fucking rouge. Okay, that's what I care about.
Know what the number I'm gonna care about him? How many points he put up in Montreal?
Well, yeah, that too. He puts up a consistent 50, 60 points. If you sign him for the right price point, you need guys like that on your team. You need guys like that. Josh Anderson is the type of guy that Martin Nietzsche's, like in terms of point value, is the guy that he can bring that time. So it's like if Josh Anderson isn't carrying the mail right now, like Martin Nietzsche's signing him would be a good step for this rebuild. Like we signed Martin Nietzsche's this summer, like 2025, Demidov comes over, like this shit's gonna get real stupid. Like we're gonna have 4 top level wingers on the Montreal Canadiens. Like not top level like back in the day we used to have like Rene Bourque and like some dudes. Like we guys like like Habs legend. But I'm just saying that like we're gonna have a top level like 2 lines, which is unheard of. So I think they should try their best. I'm not saying like I'm not saying like sell the farm. Now, what does that mean? Would I be comfortable giving up Gouli in a package for Nietzsche's?
Gouli or Madison?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest question. I feel like any trade talk right now where we want to get rid of our Ds, unfortunately, will not involve Jordan Harris, Justin Barron, Struble, who everyone always brings up in a trade talk where I'm just like, guys, like, if you're already thinking about, he would be a good person that we should trade, it's that another team will not want to trade for that either. So it's like you've got to either consider trading Gouli or Matheson, who have the highest value right now. Logically, it would make more sense to trade Matheson. Logically. He had a career year, top 10 in scoring amongst defensemen on a bottom 5 team. Mm-hmm. Could he possibly get better than that? Maybe, actually. But instead of finding out, we can trade and sell that dream to another team and get something exceptional in return. I think Matheson right now would bring us the highest level of value, more than Gouli would. But
Madison's a leader in Montreal.
The reality. Then, so that's what logically, the reality of knowing how the guys in the room value Matheson and how the management values Matheson, there's a 5% chance of that happening. 5% chance of that. It's really low. I'm surprised. And people will say, no, there's probably a higher chance. But genuinely, with how much they value this guy, the fact that he has an A on his jersey, those things, while we don't think they don't mean much, they actually probably do.
Yeah.
They actually really probably do, and I don't see them trading him. Gouli, if you get rid of Gouli right now, it's like Romanov, kind of. But Romanov, everyone had decided this was his ceiling and he wasn't going to get better than that. The problem is with Gouli...
He didn't touch it yet. But it's not a hot take, but Caden Gouli in a couple of years, if his offensive game continues to be good like that, he's going to be a Norris candidate, for sure.
Yeah.
At some point in his career, he's going to be
and I think so will Lane Hutson.
Oh, Lane Hutson as soon as in next 2 years, man.
Yeah. And Lane Hutson is a huge question mark. And that's why it also makes more sense for me to trade Matheson, because then you don't have the power play general that Matheson could be, but you know what, honestly, with all the complaining that everyone did about Matheson this year, I don't think anyone would cry the fact that Matheson's not on the power play anymore.
No, for sure.
But I personally, I like Matheson on the power play. I think he could have passed the slab a little bit more often. But I think overall, if there was one dude that could do something like that, there's that one goal against New Jersey that comes in mind. But if there's one guy that you could have relied on to be creative on that power play, it wasn't even any of our forwards. It was Mike Matheson. So if you have Lane Hutson, who's I think even more creative than Mike Matheson, I think the sky's the limit. Yep. So that's my take. My take is it's more logical to trade Matheson, but they won't trade Matheson. So maybe Gouli ends up being there, but even that I would put at 20% chance.
Okay.
20% chance. It might rain, it might not.
At the end of the day, we don't know.
But
who would you like? Just pick a name right now, no reasons. On the spot.
On the spot. I wouldn't mind Stamkos.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind Stamkos.
And would you be ready to let go just for a big start? Just drop me a name, no reasons, right now.
For the right price, I wouldn't mind getting rid of Jacky.
All right.
For the right price, it's a big statement, but at the same time, it's you compute all the scenarios. If Jacky if Jacky, people are like, no, we're not trading him because he hasn't reached his potential yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if his potential is to be a second line defenseman, well, there's already Matheson, Gouli, and Hutson. Okay, but Mayu's on the right. I'm talking about lefty.
Yeah, the left.
So where does he slot in there?
Nowhere.
Can Jacky be significantly better than Hutson at his ceiling? And can he be better than Gouli at his ceiling? I don't know. So, if a team is ready to throw a first for someone who can end up being a second-line defenseman, a first and a few things that we need, like either an NHL-ready forward or a prospect of, quantifiable, good, an A-level prospect, it'd be hard to turn down.
For sure.
And especially, I like I said, I just don't feel that the management is so high on Jacky. They're high on keeping him because it suits them as an asset. But I don't know. Everything that happened this year, sending him down to Laval, the way it was done, I don't know. I don't get the vibe that it will last forever. Jacky, as much as he loves this team, and as much as it was his dream,
would be heartbreaking.
It would crush. It
would be a right move for him because he would get more ice time.
Yeah. And we lose a big fighter. I think we underestimate, but but I will say, 2 dislocated shoulders.
Stop fighting, man.
2 years. Yeah. Not that we should get injury worried. And some people say this about Gouli too, by the way. people say that Gouli, he's had like 3-4 concussions there. Mm-hmm. It's like it's starting to get up there. It's like my sister has 13 and she had to stop playing
13?
Yeah. Well, she had to stop playing sports, but like she still does because obviously, but yeah. 13's a lot. I know. She's okay. She's fine. No, she's actually fine. She's a smart girl, but that's it. So,
okay, but like, were you pushing her around or?
No. She used to get concussions for no reason. Like she playing soccer, some person shoots the ball at her head. She's sitting on the bench. Not as if she's like playing, sitting on the bench. She goes for a header, goes a bit too hard, clash of heads, slipping in the gym, hitting her head. Dumb shit. But yeah, like eventually, he's had like 3-4 concussions. I mean, Kirby Doc has had like 2. It's like things that we need to like keep an eye on. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much what I had in mind. Let's go straight to our guests, guys. So
we cooked up some good guests.
Yeah, we did. We did. And these are all guys that, ended up, knowing about, HFTV as in general, or dudes that we reached out to and, obviously. So let's go through them. We did EJ Emery.
New York
Ranger, first round pick, 31st overall. What a great kid. New York is like the perfect place for him because he loves Keandre Miller. Like, wow, match made in heaven. And also the fact that like he has a great personality. I'm sure he's going to get along very, very well in New York with, the lifestyle and the scene there. Mm-hmm. So honestly, great spot for him. Great D. The compete level on him is insane. Excited to see what happens with him. Too bad the Canadiens couldn't pick him up. If it was in a different scenario where we needed defensemen, would have been a cool pickup.
I love that kid.
Yeah.
Nice. Who do we have?
Next, we did Sacha Boisvert. So obviously, top-rated Quebec prospect, Trois-Rivières native.
And he went 18th overall to the Chicago Blackhawks. He's going to be that second-line center behind Connor Bedard.
Crazy.
That's crazy. A Quebec kid being that second-line guy behind Betsy.
Crazy.
And, like, honestly, he's going to the right place, going to the best facility in the world at University of North Dakota. Like, we talk about it a little bit in the podcast, but, like, they're the ones that made Jonathan Tace.
Yeah.
That center for the Blackhawks that won 3 Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that has a big value in Sacha Boisvert's development for the Blackhawks.
Yeah. Big fighter, that guy. It's gonna be fun to watch. And the last one, but not least, was a surprising one. In the sense that like it happened like within a day that like we just connected and we said like, hey, we could do a podcast, and it ended up happening. Cole Hutson, ladies and gentlemen.
Isn't he the little brother of some guy on the blue line?
A guy that we know, yeah. Mr. Lane.
Lane.
Mr. Lane. Yeah, and he was there at the draft. Actually, I was filming interviews and he just popped up behind us. So we ended up asking him a few questions. I guess you guys will see this on TikTok or Instagram eventually, but yeah. So he popped up and Cole. Honestly, what's interesting about Lane and Cole is they kind of have the same kind of play. They're both lefties. They're both offensive defensemen, but the way they skate, the way they, play is a little bit different, but still the same. But yeah. I think it's especially in terms of skating, Lane's very explosive and Cole is more smooth in the way that they skate. And I guess you'll learn a little bit that the fact that not only do those guys, are playing lefty and made the NHL, but they've got a younger brother too, apparently he's pretty good too.
He's better than they are.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's what they were saying.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
Yeah, Lars Hutson, man.
A fun thing those 3 guys told us, the most underrated player in the draft, the best player they faced in the USHL, Michael Hage.
Hage.
Michael Hage. Yeah, that's the French accent.
Yeah.
Michael Hage.
We'll blame it on the microphone.
Yeah.
I guess. So, Michael Hage. Yeah. So, I mean, you guys will see it that, like, for me, like, hearing that name come up, like, 3 times, it made us, like, go into our computers and be like, hey, like, where the hell is this kid? Like, who is this guy? And then finding out that he was a Habs fan and finding out all these things, like, it kind of raised my eyebrows in the sense of, like, might actually be where the Canadiens are going, but he might get drafted a bit too high. I don't think they're going to make it. And, the Canadiens traded with the Kings, moved up from 26 to 21. Like, if you think about it, bro, Sean Monahan is giving us Michael Hage.
It's a good deal.
Not bad, man.
Sean Monahan.
Honestly, big shout out. And, big shout out to that guy. Hey, would you resign Monahan?
Oh, boy.
We're talking about UFAs? Honestly.
Yeah, we could sign him and flip him. Sign and flip.
Sign and flip?
Sign and flip.
You do like a 2-year deal?
Honestly, this would be smart from Monahan. Because let's say he signs in Montreal, and in the contract it's like, okay, if you're good, I'm staying with you. If you're like above that place in the rankings, I'm staying with you. But if not, you're trading me, and we get for sure a first overall pick. For sure.
Yeah, it's not bad. We could end up with 3.
Sign and flip.
We could end up with
Sign and flip.
Jesus Christ, bro.
And flip.
Podcasts are not the place for chance, bro. I'm telling you. So, yeah, could be a good idea. Could be a good idea. So Sean Monahan, yeah, so there you go. So you asked my UFA, Sean Monahan's the answer.
Something for you, the viewers. The podcast with Sacha Boisvert is in French.
Yeah, that's something that you guys got to know.
Yeah,
is we'll probably alternate from French to English from time to time, especially for the guest portion. Because I mean, we want the people to be as comfortable as they can be. So that's really how it's gonna go. We'll try and eventually, we'll probably work in like English subtitles to these things.
Yeah.
As we move forward, but like the budget ain't there for that right now. But eventually it will be. I promise. Yeah. So, I mean, that's it from our standpoint. So watch the 3 interviews. Everything is timestamped. Gives you a good sense of what you just watched at the draft. Like, who are the people that are really getting drafted, and kind of their personalities, and seeing like what it's like to be an 18-year-old kid and getting drafted in the NHL in Vegas for the last time, where fans are going to be there. And wait, hold on a second. Yesterday we ran into Elliot Friedman. Elliot Friedman told us when we told him this, we're like, like it sucks. Like it's the last time that like we're all going to see each other like this and everything. And he's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, because that draft atmosphere is pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think actually he led some doubt to say that like maybe it's not the last time that the draft will be in person.
We might be back next year.
We might be back next year, which means I got to save the budget because, man, I spent a lot on this one because I thought it was the last one. So
Vegas, baby.
Vegas. So it might not be the last in-person draft, but yeah, just an interesting tidbit that I just thought of. We ran into like Elliot Friedman. That was hilarious. Oh, and also, I mean, something that content-wise you might just want to watch out for. We all saw the new Fanatics jerseys, so we're gonna be posting a video about that pretty soon, probably the same day that you watch this podcast. And lastly, I would say in the comments of this video, drop questions that you guys would want us to answer. I think I'd like to have like a question and answer component to this podcast. So that could be really cool.
Could be about hockey. Could be about us. You could even write guests that you would like on the podcast. And
yeah. And if you can help facilitate us getting those guests, that could even be just as perfect.
Like, so even like we talked about it last time, like we're probably like gonna post the guest like a couple of days before we interview him. Like if you guys could write us questions, because like sometimes your questions are better than our questions.
No, I mean sometimes you guys just know certain things about certain players that came up on your feed, and us, we like when we research, I guess we check everything. We check TikTok, we check Instagram, we check
like
Google search.
FBI.
We're like the FBI, but we're a lot nicer, and we're not going to throw you in jail.
We're cool guys.
We're cool guys. Well, I don't know. Are you a cool guy if you're calling yourself a cool guy?
No.
Yeah, so I guess you're not. Speak for yourself. So that's it. Go watch the timestamps. Let Cedric, the cool guy, cool off a little bit, and we'll catch you guys next time. We're going to try and do this bi-monthly, especially in the summer. Maybe when the season starts, we'll do this weekly. But for now, like, listen, do you really want to hear him yap about something stupid?
I'm not yapping.
Do you want to hear him
I'm not yapping.
Do you want to hear him yap about, like, a really stupid scenario?
Look, if you want me to yap, I'll do it on the next podcast on the 2007 Penguins and the Montreal Canadiens. Well, I'm not going to yap about that right now. But this is a yapathon.
You know what, though? I will say, the whole story about the 2007... We've had this discussion recently at the dinner table, and it got out of hand. Yeah. But basically, my point is just, with Demidov, it's now starting to make sense. But at the time...
Yeah!
No, but wait. At the time
We're
that you
the
said
same.
it, we did not have Demidov.
But still,
at the time that you
just like
said
the 2007 Penguins.
That's
the only thing I'm gonna say,
guys. Honestly,
because that was a heated debate.
I'm gonna leave you on this point because, or else you're gonna witness some of the biggest tomfoolery in the history of podcasting. So thank you guys very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. It's really gonna help this video. It's really gonna help the podcast grow. And keep downloading, keep listening on Apple Music, Spotify, any platform you want. We're going to be there. And see you guys in 2 weeks or so. Maybe even sooner. Who knows? Ciao.
Thank you. Ciao.
We've got a special guest from the U.S. National Development Program, E.J. Emery.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me. Episode 1 is pretty big.
It is. We are not capping. We filmed something before, but this is truly the first one that we've got. So
first one in the series. How do you feel being the first?
Oh, it's an honor, you know. I gotta get a good first impression. So we'll see how it goes.
That's it.
Yeah,
let's do it. So EJ, you grew up in Compton.
I was born and raised in Surrey, British Columbia, but my dad's out from Compton. That's why it's on the
on the yellow prospect.
Yeah. So it has to be an American address because the U.S. program didn't really want a Canadian one.
Yeah, no kidding. But like, let's be really honest. You know, a lot of Canadian. I'm sure you get a lot of chirping from your Canadian friends. How did you make that choice eventually?
You know, when I got an opportunity to go out there on a visit and practice with the 04s and 05s and just get a day in their life, and from there on it's kind of a no-brainer. You know, you're training for 2 hours and you're working out for 2 hours. It's kind of a no-brainer. It's one of the best programs in the world.
So you got drafted to WHL, so that made you decided between WHL and the NCAA, Pat?
Yeah. I loved the Dub. You know, I grew up wanting to go there, but when I got an opportunity, obviously some colleges and go to a place like the Ralph, it kind of became a no-brainer when you see the atmosphere and see the training that you can get there, and yeah.
Having a good squad like you guys had this year is pretty amazing too.
Yeah. And you know what I find interesting with you is you obviously you have that dual citizenship, and your dad, he was a football player. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How was that growing up? I mean, because you played both sports, right?
Yeah.
And I guess eventually you excelled. Do you feel like you excelled more at hockey than football, or you feel like if you went into football you would have been just as good?
Yeah, I was pretty good at football, but
okay.
Yeah, I thought I could have done pretty good in football, but I think just the love for hockey was kind of just a no-brainer.
Did you get scouted like by NFL teams and stuff?
Or no, colleges? I was a little younger when I was playing, so it was, I got asked to go to a couple of high schools, but it wasn't quite colleges yet.
Yeah. And I mean, like, eventually when you had to make that choice, like, what was like the one thing about hockey that like made you think like, okay, I have to play this sport no matter what?
It's the hardest sport in the world. You know, you gotta know how to skate. You gotta know how to do stuff with the puck. You gotta know how to defend on skates. It's and the physicality. I don't think there's too many other sports that are physicality like that where you can fight, you're going to get hit. And
it's practically illegal in every other sport except for hockey, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Probably rugby is the only one that I'd ever think of. Do you think you would have been interested in doing rugby?
No, that was more of my sister's thing. So
Yeah, your sister played?
Yeah, she played rugby, so I kind of let her have her sport because I didn't want to take that over from her.
But like, what's the story that makes you fall in love like with hockey? Like, what's the story?
The 2011 Vancouver Canucks Stanley Cup run. That kind of, just being from Vancouver and seeing, them do that, it was kind of like, it was nuts. It was, the city was bumping, and it was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, bumping is a light way to put it. I don't know if I'd call it bumping when you're burning half the city down.
Yeah, it was a little active.
Yeah. Were you outside when all that stuff happened?
No, we definitely stayed indoors then, but obviously you gotta see it on TV and on the news, and it was pretty cool.
And you grew up a Canucks fan?
Yeah.
Sort of. How have been your meetings with the Canucks?
Oh, they were good. You know,
they were good
meetings. It was definitely pretty cool.
You got that easy, like, you know, I was a Canucks fan growing up.
Yeah. And telling my buddies from back home, I got a meeting with the Canucks. They were all hyped up, and you know, just walking into that room, it was pretty cool.
And I heard somewhere that, like, I think at this point you've almost interviewed with almost all the NHL teams.
Yeah, I've interviewed with everyone.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, like, I've been following the draft rankings like all the time, and this year I've never seen anything like everyone's going up and down.
Yeah.
How hard is it not to pay attention to that?
You know, it's pretty hard. You know, people are gonna say like they don't look at it, but it's gonna pop up on your feed, or like
it's inevitable.
Yeah, you're gonna see it in some way, and you know, you just try not worrying about it, because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is Friday night. So yeah, it's kind of just, you're gonna see it and just get a good laugh out of it if you're a little lower than you think, but yeah, you know, it's hard not to.
Yeah, listen, I think most guys, like, when I've seen them, they just say, like, high or low, you got drafted in the NHL.
It's a rank on the list.
Bottom line, you know.
Yeah,
that's it.
So you probably took an Uber to come here.
Yeah.
Did your Uber score go down or up?
Oh, I definitely went up. I made sure you gave me like 5 stars.
Did they seriously ask that though?
Yeah. We got asked our Uber ratings and our Snap score.
The Snap score?
What's the Snap score?
Over under 100,000.
Over under.
Definitely over.
I feel like 100,000. Like, listen, I'm 25.
Yeah.
And he's 18. So, like, mine is like at around 100,000. So I'm like, I feel like that's a normal number. But then I saw his. It's like a 300,000.
A little bit more up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like what you guys grew up like interacting with most. Like,
with birds.
Exactly. With birds. Exactly.
Mine's a little above 300,000 too. So
that's it. Okay, so okay. Well, you know what? It's
We're
a good
same
sign. You guys are both rising at the same level.
So, what was the weirdest question you got asked at the combine, or with the interviews?
Well, I mean the Snap score was pretty weird, but one of them was like talking about you're in the war and you're going against another army and they have a submarine.
Question, the Habs question.
Yeah, they did that last year.
Oh yeah. That kind of shocked me. I was like, I don't know what to say.
So so the question is if there's you've got a submarine and you've got, like, I think your friends near that submarine, do you take the shot or not?
Yeah, I told them I was blowing it up. So
that's it. Yeah. Because I think we had done a little skit at some point. What did you say?
Blow it up.
Yeah, you said blow it up.
Blow it up.
I think
we gotta ask him the grandma question.
Yeah, for sure. They asked you the grandma question, right?
I don't think I got a grandma question.
They asked basically, like, last year they asked, like, a Ryan Backer. They're like, if there's like a grandma at a grocery store and like someone cuts in front of the grandma, what do you do?
Oh, probably gonna have to go throw hands with whoever cuts in front of the grandma.
No, but that's it. Like, it was such. Sometimes I feel like these questions are made up to be like a lot bigger than what there is. I feel like they throw in like some easy ones like that just to make sure, like, you're not like ready and scripted, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty random. I can't even imagine being in a meeting and someone asking me that.
like okay, like someone. Like, bro, your grandma gets cut in front. Okay, you say something. Like, for me, it's the answer is so obvious, but I'm sure in the moment it doesn't feel that obvious. Yeah. How many interviews do you do in a day?
At the combine, I was doing about 7 a day.
7 a day.
Yeah.
And how do you prepare for those?
Well, over the course of the year, I had a bunch of meetings with teams, so that kind of just helped me. And then obviously with the WHL Draft, I had a lot of experience with talking to teams then too. So it's kind of just like a practice thing, and you know, the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Yeah.
So, like, I've seen like those NHL questionnaires.
Yeah.
How long did they took you to fill it up?
Oh man, those sucked.
At least you're honest about it.
Yeah. Some took like 15 minutes, and then some took like an hour and a half.
Ooh.
Yeah.
An hour and a half. Like, okay, I assume there's a lot to know about you, but like at that point, I feel like. Do you feel like a call would have been faster?
Yeah. I was learning stuff about myself that I didn't know before.
And there's a player that you mentioned very often about, like, this is kind of like my initial comparable. You compare yourself to Keandre Miller, right?
Yeah.
What's so special about his game that, like, you feel like you emulate?
Just the big athletic, defenseman who can move his feet and make some passes and defend as well as we do. I think just the similarities in our game in that way. It's kind of it gives me a no-brainer. Have a person to imagine when I'm working on my game and have someone to look at to build my game.
Yeah. How's your fight game? We were talking about your buddy Sacha. Has he given you a few pointers?
Yeah, he's definitely given me a few pointers. I think in our dorm rooms we're gonna get a little bit more pointers going, and we might work on it a little bit. But
a few pillow fights.
Yeah. So some pillow fights with him will not be fun, but it's gonna happen.
I mean,
sure.
you've got the build to fight eventually if you want to make that decision. Yeah. Could you imagine going up against a guy like Arbor Jacki?
Oh, I don't know.
I think that's a tough cookie, man.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it'll be fun.
Would you say Jacki is the heavyweight of the league? Or you still got Revo there?
Or Rempe.
Revo Rempe? Yeah, I don't know about Rempe, okay? Like everyone likes to hype Rempe, but like every fight that I've seen him, he's always come out worst than when he started. I give him a lot of credit, but he comes out worst every time.
He definitely has some balls on him, but I don't know. He gets a lot of black eyes, so I don't know
that's it. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you end up with like 2 black eyes, I don't know how you could win that fight. Like if the other guy comes out clean, I don't know how you won that fight.
But still, he's a beauty.
Yeah, he is a beauty.
Yeah.
But have you ever met Keandre Miller?
No, not yet. I've been waiting to meet him. I met everyone else besides him, so just waiting for that.
Did you do some like NHL camps with like some NHL players already?
Well, at the U.S. development program, all the pros come back and work out there and skate there, so just get to interact with them. And
yeah. Who's the most impressive guy you saw?
One of the hardest workers in the gym is Jake Sanderson.
Sanderson,
he's a beast.
Wow.
He just he gets after it, and then obviously seeing a guy like Jack Hughes in the gym is
Hughes too.
Pretty cool experience. And
who's the funny?
Cole Caulfield ain't bad either.
Well, there you go. I was gonna say who's the funniest guy, but it most likely probably was this guy, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's a pretty funny dude. He likes getting some jokes out there. And,
big time.
Yeah,
big time. This guy is just like a loose cannon, I guess.
Does he sing the song while he's working out at the gym?
No, not yet. Next time I go back, I'm gonna make sure I get something of him singing that song because it needs to happen.
I think at this point I think he's like kind of uncomfortable with like the scenario of like there's a song after me, could you imagine one day a song being after you? Well, we're probably gonna start it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind.
You wouldn't mind. Yeah, you wouldn't mind. That's it. Watching the playoffs this year, like what was your biggest takeaway?
It kind of sucked because we didn't get to watch the first half of the playoffs because we were in Finland.
Okay.
But that second half just, it really shows that the team that's gonna, be more physical is gonna win.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for Florida, they got away from those 3 games. They weren't, hitting McDavid as much and weren't getting underneath his skin. And then that game 7, I kind of feel like they kind of shut Draisaitl and McDavid down by, getting in their face. And that's the biggest thing I saw was, to win a Stanley Cup, you're going to have to be a little gritty team.
Yeah. Big time.
So far in your career, what was the toughest game you played?
Toughest game? We played a couple college games this year, and we playing against Nodek and Michigan State. Those teams were just so gritty, and every time we touched the puck, we got hit. But I would say the toughest game losing was definitely in that gold medal game against Canada. That was a tough way to go out.
You should have stayed in Canada, man. Like, come on, you got Canada to go.
I'm sure all your buddies were buzzing you about that.
Yeah, we'll be back in December.
You'll be back. Okay, we're gonna keep an eye on that. I can't say I'll be cheering for USA. I might be cheering for you, but I don't know if I'll be cheering for USA.
Your coach Nick Fork qualifies you as a perfectionist on the ice.
Yeah.
What's something that you need to perfection off the ice?
Probably folding my clothes.
It's not easy, man.
No, it usually stays in the laundry hamper until I want to put it back on.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time my mom would come over to my billet house, she'd get mad at me for none of my clothes being folded. But that's definitely something I gotta work on a little bit.
Yeah. No, your face tells me basically you've had that moment where you walk in, like you tell your mom, like, "Hey, mom, I gotta be somewhere in 10 minutes. Can you iron this?" And they're like, "There is no way in hell that I'm ironing this."
Yeah, that's happened a couple times. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Your suit is all good now. It's all iron and stuff.
Yeah, my suit's been ready for a couple weeks now.
You got anything flashy?
Yeah, something light.
Something light. Okay, he's keeping it mysterious. I like it. And I mean, you said you've been to Vegas like a few times now. What do you do underage when you're in Vegas? Give him some tips.
Yeah, I mean, it's lucky I got 2 older siblings that I'm always with, so we usually just like walk around and hang out. My grandpa used to live here, so when I was a little younger, we'd always just come back and, visit him. And yeah, I mean, when I was a lot younger, we went to this hotel and they had like an arcade area. Okay. So, I got to be a fake adult for a little bit there. And yeah, just chilling out, going by the pool, just hanging out really.
Yeah. How do you feel your life's going to be different when you eventually make the NHL?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it's going to be, obviously it's going to be different, but it's also going to be the same. We're still playing, the same game and, still loving it. And it just, the goal switches to wanting to win a Stanley Cup. And yeah, at the end.
Most of the guys you grew up with, like let's say your closest friends, would you say they all play hockey?
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty close with a lot of the guys that are going to be coming here. And, a lot of guys that are back home playing hockey, and yeah, pretty much all my friends play hockey. Because
I feel like that's like a very common thing. Like when you start playing hockey, your closest friends end up being your teammates.
Yeah,
and it's like on one hand it's good, like you're locked in, like you've got a few boys that you're locked in with all the time. But it's like then you also lose out on like everyone else that doesn't play hockey. So it's like I mean I don't know. Like I guess people sometimes they lose friends. I guess because they're not on the same wavelength.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to have friends outside of hockey, just because especially when you're always on the road and you're moving cities so much that it's hard to make those outside friends.
No, but that's it. Like you can't go to a house party on a Friday.
Yeah,
you can't go like you just can't do that stuff anymore.
You can't really hang out.
I mean, how hype is the college experience so far? Like, I mean, how's the fan base at North Dakota?
Oh, the Sioux fans are the best fans you'll ever meet.
Best fans?
Best fans you'll ever meet. They're gonna get super excited, and when you're in North Dakota, there isn't much to do besides play hockey. So,
but they got the loudest barn in the league.
Yeah, that place gets pretty loud. We played an exhibition game there, and it wasn't completely sold out, but there was still like 9,000 fans there in a Christmas break. No students, and that place was rocking still. And yeah, it gets loud in there. You get a little bit rattled when the other team scores and everyone's throwing their hands up, going like this. And yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a great environment there, and like I said, the best fans in the world.
What's the loudest barn you ever went to? That wasn't your home barn.
Yeah, Finland, when we were in Finland, playing against Finland.
So yeah,
they're rocking for sure.
No, I'm really honest. Like hockey fans are great in North America and everything, but in Europe it's just another level.
It was crazy, yeah.
Like if you start a chant, like I'll tell you the experience at the Bell Center. Like if you start a chant like in the lower bowl, like you'll get looked at.
Yeah,
like the security will be like, "Sir, is everything okay?" Like like they're not used to this stuff.
Yeah.
You had a record-setting AHL combine. How many push-ups do you do before you go to sleep?
Oh, my dad always makes me do 10. He's like, since I've been like 8 years old, he's always like, you better do 10 before you go to bed. So that's kind of just been a routine. Yeah. Sometimes you might pump out a couple more just to get a good pump before you go to bed. But just consistently just getting 10 just to, do something before you go to bed.
Well, listen, I don't think you did just 10 because you broke you broke the record in the sense that I think it's been hard for someone to be in the top 5 in a lot of different categories. Yeah. Like you're just like really all around. That's it, from what I understand. Like,
how do you prepare like to be like this good?
For me being at the program with Joe Maloney and Brian Gallivan, they're one of the best trainers in the world, and they got me prepared for this over the 2 years working with them, and then obviously getting ready for the combine for a couple weeks, and just the workouts and how dialed in they are on how to make me more athletic and make me become the athlete I am now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know. Like you said, you might not want to get into a fight with Jack, but like you've certainly got a lot of workouts in, so you probably got a shot.
When are you gonna hear your name on Friday? Will you be like, "Oh, I did it," or it's day one?
I think it's gonna be like, this is the start. This is day one. This is what I've been working for. But at the same time, the end goal is to be in the Hall of Fame. So got a little bit more work to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think I had one dumb question, but I mean, obviously you're from Compton.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest question on everyone's mind right now, and I'm sure they want to ask you. You know, you're also dual Canadian. Kendrick or Drake?
What's that?
Kendrick or Drake?
Oh, man.
This is gonna break hearts.
You know, I think I mean, it's kind of hard to go against Kendrick with the Not Like Us, but Drake.
It is.
Drake's my guy for sure.
Drake is your guy.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be my number one on my Spotify rap.
What's the post game song you guys got going on? Who's in charge usually?
Well, we usually got. Well, I mean, we don't put him in charge, but Planner usually just takes the aux, and yeah, he's usually ripping some pretty bad songs, but
yeah. It's naturally the person who is in charge of the aux is not going to play good music. It's like a known thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Hermitown thing, I guess, where they just play some bad songs or something. But yeah, I definitely got to take the phone away from him.
Big time.
Okay, so what field are you going to study at UND?
What's that?
What field are you going to study at UND?
Well, right now I'm just doing general until, you know, get my feet going a little bit, and then I'm probably just going to take sports management.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sports management. Would you know, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a question that's too far ahead, but I'll ask it anyway. Like, do you ever see yourself, like, after playing the game, do you ever see yourself actually going in a management role, or do you feel like too attached to just actually playing the game that being management is like more or less fun?
Yeah, I can for sure see myself going into a management role. I think, you know, I kind of just want to stay in the game. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I grew up loving hockey, and I'm going to continue loving it. So if I can't play anymore, then, you know, the next best thing will be, you know, be in the office and, you know, helping the behind the scenes a little bit. So, yeah.
And actually, a question, like, even like off the ice, like, just as a hockey fan, like, what kind of fan would you say you are? Oh. Like, would you say, you know, I'm sure you've seen a few of our videos there. Would you be in that big mosh pit?
Oh, I'd 100% be in there. Oh yeah. Yeah, I tried getting a couple chances going during games. It only worked a couple times, but I'm definitely that guy that's going to stand up and, you know, get the crowd.
Yeah, you're not there to, you know, sit and, you know, oh, hello everyone, we're here at corporate meeting. Hello.
Supposed to be a little bit more active than that.
That's it. Yeah, it's an active game, man. You can't be quiet. I've never understood this when people come to a game and they're like in a business meeting.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many better times to have a business meeting other than when two guys are like beating the living crap out of each other or checking each other into a corner. Like, I don't know.
What would be one rule in the NHL that you would like to change?
That's a good question. One rule. Oh, I don't really know. Maybe make the fighting penalties less, like 2 minutes instead of 5.
Make them 2 minutes.
Get them out quicker to get another one in.
Yeah, you know, it wouldn't be dumb. But then you've got situations at the end of the games where it's good to have 5.
Yeah.
Because or else the game's going to degenerate. But at the same time, the game degenerating might be good for the views.
Yeah, might make it look a little cooler.
Yeah,
you know?
That's it. My rule that I thought of was like goalie interference. Like, I don't know what exactly we have to change, but there's something that needs to change in the sense that, like, I feel like even especially in this playoffs, like, there were some goals called off that you were like I don't know if you've seen, there's that clip of like Carey Price getting dragged out of the net. That was a good goal.
Yeah.
And then like now we see like if you just touch right here, it's like you're done.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple times where it's like you're watching as a fan, and it's like, but if you're like on the team where that's happening, you're like, all right, you can't let that go in.
That's it.
So yeah, it really just depends. And yeah, I mean, I'd be pretty rattled if, you know, a goal goes in that we can, you know, get overturned. But at the same time, if I was on the other team trying to score, I'd be, you know, also fired up if they don't let it go in. So
yeah, big time.
A rule that I would like to change is no buckets in the warm up.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit more style when you're going with no buckies. And, you know, it's a couple laps without a bucket. You know, at least give us like the first 5 minutes to go no buckets.
Yeah, my point is like, you know, I think the reason why they implemented it is because like some dudes got hurt, but like at the end of the day, you're playing hockey. Like things are gonna happen. Like it's not ideal that it's happening in the warm up, but I don't know, man. The Letty's got to fly.
Yeah,
the Letty's got to fly. You guys put in a lot of work. Look at this guy. He was blow drying for like 30 minutes today, man.
No, like especially like junior hockey, like all those guys are flashing in the warm ups and everything. It's crazy. Like no, there's a slang in Quebec: no bucky, upper decky. That's what they do in the warm up.
That's unreal. That's unreal.
You got anything else?
Yeah. Who's one player that you're looking to face and one that you're not?
One player I'm looking to face. Where?
In the NHL.
In the NHL. I think playing against someone like Connor McDavid would be pretty cool. Get an opportunity to lock him up, and that would be a pretty cool experience.
Do you think you could get into Connor's McDavid's head?
Oh, big time! I'm gonna be in his grill.
Are you a big talker during games?
I am. My teammates will tell you I'm really bad at chirping, but I'm not gonna shut up. So it's gonna get annoying. So eventually, it's gonna get in your head.
What's your best chirp?
Oh,
Your best
Like,
chirp you
what's
ever
the chirp
received?
that like if you say this, you're already starting to really get in his head. Like you must have a go-to. Like if you're telling you talk a lot.
I just be talking though. It's not like
it just happens. Whatever happens.
yeah. It's like usually what's going on. Like if I take the puck from you, I'll be like, "You suck. What are you doing? How are you gonna give me the puck that easily?" And it'll be something like that. It's just getting in someone's grill. If I know something about their background, like where they're going to college or something, and I'll be like, "You think you can get in there?" or something like that.
Oof.
It'll be
like it's always good to ask a good existential question while they're playing the game.
yeah.
And one that you're not ready to face or you're scared.
Ooh, I wouldn't really say I'm scared of anyone, but playing against Cale Makar might suck.
Yeah. That guy's fast.
Yeah.
That guy's really too fast. I mean, one guy that they compare is like Lane Hutson, Montreal.
Yeah. His.
I mean, you didn't face him, right?
I played against him when he was at BU.
Yeah.
He danced me. Yeah.
Yeah. That guy, like the way he moves with the puck, I'm just like, what? Like, what is it? I don't even comprehend what I'm watching until I'm watching it.
It's crazy. He came down 1-on-1 on me and put it through my stick about 3 times, then got around me. I was like, what am I supposed to do here?
And between Lane and his brother Cole, who's better, you think?
Oh, I don't know if I can answer that, or else I might be getting some angry texts later. No, I think they're similar but different in their own ways. Playing with Cole, he was really smart and he's super smooth, and everything he does is crazy how he can move on the ice, and but with Lane, he's fast. He's like that fast twitch, and he's always buzzing around, and he's
got a hell of a shot.
Yeah, he does. He's unreal player. Both of them are.
Yeah. Speaking of another dude with an unreal shot, Cole Eiserman.
Oh,
like we were talking before about like dudes that are going up and down the draft ranking him, and I'm so surprised because it's like for me it's like carbon copy, same situation as like Cole Caulfield.
Yeah,
like a few years back.
Yeah,
like what do you think about him?
Oh man, his shot's unreal. I'd hate blocking that in practice. We'd have PK power play, and you just know where he is, and you'll be like, I don't want to block it, but
he's definitely got hardest shot competition locked up.
Yeah, for sure. But I think the thing that a lot of people don't realize about him is he works so hard. Like after games, he'd be in the shooting room for hours, and he obviously worked to perfect his shot, and he's working to perfect his whole game, and he's gonna be a great player one day for sure.
Cool. I think we've gone around pretty much everything. Yeah,
we have everything.
Yeah, I think so. Well, EJ,
one last question. What's one team you want to go to? One team.
I think I can answer that after the draft. I'll get back to you guys on that one.
That's it.
Actually, well, I might as well ask it just in case it happens. I mean, how would it feel to play in the Bell Center in Montreal?
That place is always rocking. I see your guys' videos outside, so it'll be an amazing experience, and just getting a chance to play in that barn, and the history of the team, it'll be pretty cool. Yeah. I
mean, all I gotta say is if it happens, well, we'll definitely be in contact again. I'll tell you that for sure.
You say you want to go in sports management.
Yeah.
What would be your starting lineup? Like NHL players or college players or
your best five.
Your best five.
Right.
And a goalie.
Gonna have to go with Demko and net.
Demko and net. Okay, yeah, he's definitely a Vancouver
fan.
He's
a Vancouver fan.
100% Vancouver fan.
Obviously got to put Cale Makar there.
Cale Makar. You can put yourself.
Oh yeah, I'll throw myself in there for sure. That's
it. Throw yourself in there.
Gotta go. gonna throw Crosby on the right wing.
Crosby.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw Crosby right wing. McDavid center. Oh, and I don't think you can go wrong with McKinnon. Oh wait, no, I can't put McKinnon. I'm gonna put Kachuk.
Kachuk. Oh. Yeah, that one's inspired from this. Yeah, I mean now you can't count him out. That guy is a beast.
Actually, I'm gonna change my McDavid to Jack Hughes, make it a little bit more American.
Jack Hughes.
I'll make it a little bit more American.
Here we go. The dual citizenship is losing its meaning by every minute, right? The only thing that's latching on is like the Vancouver part. Other than that,
I might switch Cale Makar with Quinn Hughes too.
Here we go. Oh, it's over, man. Yeah, we got to end this interview soon because I already like him a lot, but he's gonna make me not like him as much. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you next time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Cédric, on est avec qui aujourd'hui?
On est ici avec le meilleur espoir québécois au repêchage 2024, Sacha Boisvert. Comment vas-tu aujourd'hui?
Ça va bien, vous?
Ça va super.
Amazing.
Content d'être à Vegas?
Ah, ouais, c'est le fun. C'est super chaud, super beau. Très le fun.
C'est comme un sauna, hein?
Ah, ouais, j'ai marché pour m'emmener ici, puis le vin me tapait dans la face, c'est chaud. Ah, ouais, c'est beau.
Mais honnêtement, qu'est-ce qu'on fait à 18 ans à Vegas?
Pas grand-chose. Moi, je me suis réveillé un matin, j'étais
Pas grand-chose, genre wink-wink ou genre pas grand-chose?
Non, pas grand-chose. Je me suis réveillé un matin, j'étais allé au gym, puis j'étais allé dans la piscine là-dessus.
That's it. C'est ça la vie.
Ouais, exact. On est bien relax. Puis,
Non, on s'est réveillé, puis on a fait quoi? On a mangé.
Ouais, on a
On
mangé.
allé au gym, man.
Ben, toi, t'as fait ça. Moi, j'ai... Ben, justement, j'ai pas d'option, là. J'étais avec toi, là.
Ouais, c'est ça.
So, malheureusement, je suis stuck avec les underage, là.
Et là, t'es-tu excité d'être ici au repêchage?
ouais, c'est super excitant. J'ai travaillé toute l'année justement pour être ici au repêchage, mais ouais, c'est vraiment le fun. Je vais attendre vendredi, puis ça va être vraiment le fun.
On va retourner un peu au début de ta carrière.
Ouais.
Tu sais, on a parlé à beaucoup de gars, on était l'an passé au repêchage, on est là cette année. Est-ce que tu dis que t'es un gars plus d'un talent naturel du hockey ou un gars qui a dû travailler pour être où t'es aujourd'hui?
Après, je te dirais un peu des deux, mais je te dirais plus travailler. Quand j'étais jeune, c'était vraiment bon. Mais depuis que je suis jeune, j'ai toujours travaillé pour essayer d'être le meilleur. Fait que je te dirais vraiment, j'ai travaillé.
Actually, je veux juste demander dans le sens où... Est-ce qu'il y a un moment où tu as senti que... OK, j'ai probablement des bonnes chances, soit de jouer dans LNH ou soit jouer comme même professionnel?
Quand j'ai commencé à jouer au hockey, pour être, ça a tout le temps été mon rêve de jouer dans la Ligue nationale. Puis je me suis jamais dit, comme, il n'y a pas de chance que je le fasse. Je n'ai pas de chance que j'y atteigne. J'ai toujours été prêt à travailler pour m'y rendre, puis ça n'a pas changé. Là.
Faudrait que tu approches le micro un tout petit peu.
Ah, ouais, parfait, pas tout.
Mais, tu sais, déjà, t'as pas joué dans la LHEQ, t'as joué LHPS, qui est la Ligue scolaire au Québec. Mais déjà en secondaire 1, tu jouais M15 majeur, qui est comme le niveau des secondaires 3. Comment tu fais ça? Parce que t'as pas. Entre un secondaire 1 et un secondaire 3, ça n'a pas le même physique, là. Ça commence à frapper, c'est open ice et tout.
Ouais.
Comment t'es capable de faire ça à cet âge-là?
Pour vrai, moi, c'est tout le temps de la confiance que je me suis donné en étant dans le gym ou en travaillant sur la glace. Comme je savais que quand j'allais dans le coin pour chercher la puck, j'avais travaillé plus fort que l'autre. J'étais allé dans le gym plus qu'eux. Fait que ma mentalité était plus forte pour justement aller chercher la puck, par exemple. Puis ça a tout le temps été ça qui m'a vraiment donné la petite edge de confiance puis de skills.
Puis quand t'avais cet âge-là, comme ton gabarit, il ressemblait à quoi? Genre, est-ce que t'étais comme around the same size?
Je te dirais plus mince, mais j'ai tout le temps été bien grand. Là. J'ai tout le temps été grand, mais un peu plus mince.
Ok, ouais, non, c'est comme justement, comme au moins t'étais grand dans le sens où, genre, tu sais, jouer avec des sec 3, des sec 1, comme, est-ce qu'il y avait beaucoup de chirping, genre, les gars dans le locker room et tout?
Non,
ou même les autres gars, l'autre équipe?
Non, pas tant, j'étais bien ami avec eux. Je me rappelle encore, c'est des bonnes années. C'est justement l'année qui a commencé, il y a eu le COVID, je pense, c'est mon 2.
Ouais, c'est vrai.
Puis non, c'était vraiment une bonne année, j'ai eu du fun. Puis justement, j'étais avec Fred dans mon équipe, puis c'était vraiment le fun.
Puis, dans le fond, tu viens de Trois-Rivières.
Ouais.
À Trois-Rivières, t'as les estacades, puis t'as le séminaire Saint-Joseph. Qu'est-ce qui t'a fait choisir entre les deux?
Le programme de skills individuels, je te dirais. Comme au séminaire, c'est vraiment plus axé sur les skills individuels du joueur puis le développement. Tandis que les estacades, je n'enlève rien pantoute, mais je te dirais plus, c'est comme le jeu collectif. Moi, c'est comme ma perspective. Peut-être qu'il y a d'autres monde qui pensent autrement, mais ça a été le bon chemin pour moi, puis ça m'a aidé dans mon développement.
Mais justement, c'est quand même rare. Tu sais, comme tu as vraiment mis le séminaire Saint-Joseph sur la map, là. Puis est-ce que tu trouves que tu conseillerais à d'autres joueurs qui s'en viennent? Parce que there seems to be like a predetermined route. Il y a toujours un route que les gens suivent. Puis toi, tu as décidé de dévier, d'éviter ça. Est-ce que tu trouves qu'il y a vraiment comme une excellente raison d'y aller d'un chemin ou d'un autre, ou est-ce que tu...
Ouais, bien, tout le temps, ça varie tout le temps des genres de joueurs que tu es aussi. Mais je te dirais, un jeune âge, c'est vraiment un beau programme. C'est vraiment axé sur les skills individuels. le patin, les edges. Puis moi, ça m'a vraiment aidé après mettre un meilleur patineur, un meilleur sur mes pieds, plus confiant. Puis moi, je le conseille aux autres jeunes de Trois-Rivières puis autour du Québec.
On reste à 14 ans, c'est quand même jeune. T'es parti aux États-Unis en Mont-Saint-Charles.
Ouais.
C'est quoi la chose que tu t'ennuyais de plus de chez vous?
Je te dirais la bouffe à ma mère, c'est sûr. Quand tu te réveilles le matin, le déjeuner est prêt, c'est pas pareil. Là, mais ouais, je te dirais ça. Puis au début, je suis arrivé, je parlais pas un mot anglais. Puis nouveaux amis, c'était pendant la COVID, c'était vraiment difficile. L'école aussi, c'est surtout ça qui était dur. Mais non, c'était vraiment des belles années. Je me suis fait des amis pour la vie. Puis c'était vraiment les deux meilleures années de ma vie.
Ben oui, ben justement, durant la COVID, qu'est-ce que tu as fait pour continuer de t'entraîner? Tu sais, comme toutes les arénas étaient fermées, t'as-tu fait du rollerblade essentiellement?
Ouais, je te dirais ouais.
C'est tout ce qui restait.
Puis on avait dans le fond, tout était fermé.
Ouais.
Mon père, il y a un gym à côté de chez nous, comme un gym de poids.
Mm-hmm.
Puis c'est très à côté d'un poste de police.
OK.
Mon père, on allait comme s'entraîner là. Puis le monsieur, il y a du monde qui venait rentrer. Puis il disait, qu'est-ce que vous faites là? Mon père disait, je suis concierge. On est passé à la mop pendant ce temps-là. Puis pendant ce temps-là, on s'entraînait. Puis dans ma cour aussi, fait de la boxe avec mon père. Courir des côtes avec pendant le temps de la COVID. Puis ouais, comme tu as dit, du rollerblade aussi.
Ben c'est ça, du rollerblade, c'est la seule option.
Puis, dans le fond, tu sais, on a un ami en commun, Fred. Il m'a dit que tu dormais avec un toutou pour te rappeler de chez vous. Mais je sais pas si c'est vrai, c'est pas là, t'en prends, t'en laisses.
Là, je t'en prends, t'en laisses, Fred. Pas tout à tu l'écoutes.
Mais parlons un peu de la boxe. Tu sais, on dit que t'es le prochain Matthew Tkachuk. Tu sais, qu'est-ce qui fait...
Toi, tu dis ça.
Ben, tout le monde dit ça.
Tout le monde dit ça.
Tu sais, t'es un gars physique sur la glace, pis tout, mais comment ça t'as pas peur de te battre sur la glace, là? C'est quoi qui se passe dans ta tête quand tu drops les mythes?
Je sais pas, moi, pour vrai, j'aime ça, là, tu sais, c'est comme, ça donne un petit boost d'adrénaline, puis c'est vraiment compétitif. Mais qu'est-ce que j'aime ça dire, c'est, tu sais, dans le monde du hockey, j'ai rencontré beaucoup de jeunes qui ont, mettons, leur père en Ligue nationale, puis il y a 2-3 ans, ils marchaient autour de l'aréna, puis ils côtoyaient des gars de la NHL. Ouais. Puis moi, à 2-3 ans, tu sais, je marchais au gym de boxe, puis je voyais le monde comme se battre un peu. Puis mon père, il fait du kickboxing, du taekwondo, mon oncle aussi. C'est vraiment des jeunes de famille. On peut vraiment l'argent quand ils étaient plus jeunes pour justement jouer au hockey, mais ils ont tout le temps été des fans des Canadiens de Montréal puis tout. Mais moi, j'ai fait de la boxe à un très jeune âge, puis je te dirais c'est ça qui m'a donné la confiance, puis j'aime ça. Là.
Puis je veux demander, parce que tu sais, comme il y a Georges Larac qui dit qu'il aimait pas vraiment ça se battre, mais c'est comme il devait le faire. Mm-hmm. Est-ce que tu te ressens, comment tu te ressens avant, comme mettons, tu joues contre une équipe et tu sais que l'autre, là, il va se battre. Là.
Ouais.
Comment est-ce que tu te sens la journée avant ou comme même avant le match?
Tu sais, je te dirais, je suis pas un bagarreur, là. Je me mets pas dans une game, je me dis, je vais me battre.
Ouais.
Je suis plus un gars, tu sais, je suis vraiment. Moi, je me considère vraiment comme un leader. Je prends vraiment de fierté en étant un leader de l'équipe.
Ouais.
Puis, je suis vraiment excellent dans toutes les parties de ma game. Puis, des fois, il y a les plus petits gars dans mon équipe, cette année, qui se fait frapper, tu sais, des genoux à genoux, frapper dans le dos. Puis, tu sais, encore légal, les bagarres, on veut pas. Puis, des fois, j'allais répondre aux gars. Let's go, faut qu'on y aille, tu sais, tu viens de faire ça. Tu seras pas avec notre équipe. Fait que des fois, j'étais un peu le gars qui faisait ça, puis comme ça donnait plus d'espace aux jeunes joueurs de peut-être faire un peu plus que ce qu'ils voulaient sur la glace.
Mm-hmm.
Puis, je dirais.
C'est quoi que ta mère t'a dit après ta première bagarre?
Je pense pas qu'on m'en a parlé, pour vrai. Non, elle m'a dit qu'elle était genre, tu sais, on regardait chez nous dans mon salon, puis elle est allée se cacher, là, elle voulait pas regarder. Mais après ça, elle est venue me voir jouer pour la première fois de l'année, cette année, contre Youngstown, dans le coin de New York, Rochester. Puis c'était la première game, je me suis battu cette game-là. Puis là, elle n'a pas le choix de regarder. Ma mère n'a pas regardé pendant tout. Elle dit, je voulais pas regarder, mais ma soeur était là, puis elle trippait bien raide là-dessus. Là.
Mais c'est pas comme si elle peut se tourner de bord. Là.
Non,
il y a encore ta soeur qui est là comme.
Ouais, exactement.
Mais, tu sais, on parle là, du USHL. Ça a été quoi le plus gros choc culturel que tu as vécu de vivre aux États pendant 4 ans?
Je dirais l'anglais puis l'école, vraiment. Tu sais, j'étais arrivé là, je connaissais 3 mots, je connaissais, c'était yes, no puis toaster, tu sais. Puis non, tu sais, mon roommate, c'était un Slovaque. Fait que les deux, on parlait pas anglais pendant tout. Mais tu sais, à ça, on est rendu comme vraiment des bons amis. Puis on a vraiment fait, on a vécu ça ensemble. Puis non, vraiment, l'école au début, c'était vraiment difficile pendant le COVID. Je me rappelle encore mon premier examen aux États-Unis, je m'étais fait pogner à tricher comme. Mais comme depuis là, ça m'a vraiment des petites efforts dans qui m'ont aidé à m'améliorer. J'allais voir les professeurs qui m'aident. Puis vraiment, deuxième année, j'étais arrivé à Mont-Saint-Charles. C'est là que ça a vraiment fait. Ça a été une bonne année déterminante de ma carrière.
Tu t'es fait repêcher dans la LHGMQ par les Sags de Chicoutimi. Tu t'en vas jouer à l'Université du Dakota. On a eu ton teammate TJ Emery qui a dit qu'il n'y a pas tant de choses à faire au Dakota.
Oh.
Mais aussi pas tant de choses à faire à Chicoutimi. Qu'est-ce que tu fais choisir?
Je me suis fait repêcher à Shawinigan.
Shawinigan?
Ils ont droppé mes droits, puis je me suis fait repêcher cette année à Shawinigan.
Ah ouais?
Ouais.
Mais qu'est-ce qui t'a fait choisir d'aller en NCAA?
Pour moi, ça a tout le temps été depuis je suis vraiment jeune, je voulais tout le temps aller à l'NCAA. Comme le programme justement de Sinaire Saint-Joseph, il nous montrait vraiment un jeune âge que tu sais, il n'y avait pas juste la GMQ pour percer pour aller professionnel. Il y avait vraiment l'autre bord des lignes, il y avait les collèges américains que tu pouvais prendre plus ton temps, te développer un peu plus, comme un peu la ressemblance du Sinaire. Ouais. Puis je me rappelle, j'avais 12 ans, j'étais allé voir une game de Providence puis Boston College. Ouais. Avec mon équipe, on a fait un road trip, là, on a joué des games. Puis depuis ce jour-là, j'ai vu les student section, on a vu le locker, puis tout. Puis depuis ce jour-là, j'ai toujours voulu jouer NCAA.
Puis t'as joué au Brick Tournament.
Ouais.
Tu sais, t'as joué contre des gars comme Macklin Slurry, Cole Eiserman, beaucoup de gars qui vont se faire repêcher, ils prennent un round. Ce qui t'as joué là-bas, tu t'es dit, oh shit, il est bon, puis il va se rendre dans la Ligue nationale.
À cet âge-là, lui qui était vraiment, il était encore bon, là. Michael Hage. Ouais. Justement, j'en parlais en venant ici. Ça fait 2 jours que je passe avec, c'est vraiment un de mes bons amis. Ce gars-là, il est incroyable. J'ai joué contre cette année toute l'année. Contre le Chicago Steel. En passant, on était 8-0 contre eux. Fait que, juste
il glisse là-dedans.
Non, juste le glisser, mais non, c'est vraiment un bon joueur. Puis au break, je pensais qu'on est le MVP du tournoi. Il était vraiment exceptionnel.
Puis à UND, tu vas étudier quoi?
Je sais pas encore. Je pense que je vais être en général pour commencer. Juste pour avec classe, avoir un peu de crédit. Puis après ça, je vais vraiment checker qu'est-ce que je veux faire. Mais d'après moi, je vais faire de quoi comme ou soit business ou communication. Un des deux.
Nice. Puis UND sont quand même réputés pour faire des bons gros centres. On parle, tu sais, Jonathan Taze, Brock Besser. Est-ce que ça a été une des raisons que tu es allé là-bas ou t'avais-tu d'autres offres?
Je te dirais, c'était mon rêve de jouer là. Tu sais, comme j'ai dit, quand j'étais aux États-Unis, je connaissais pas vraiment les collèges américains à part Providence, puis Boston College, puis BU comme. Puis là, j'allais sur YouTube, je checkais des vidéos comme, mettons, université, top 20 meilleures universités, comme Arena, tout. Puis j'ai came across UND. Puis j'ai vu comme le locker room, puis tout. Puis j'étais comme, wow, cette place-là, si j'ai jamais un offre d'aller jouer là, c'est sûr que je vais. Puis je restais digne de mes paroles. Puis la première journée, j'ai pu commuter, j'ai décidé d'aller là.
Nice.
Puis est-ce que tu trouves, tu sais, comme, justement, tu as mentionné les student sections là-bas, puis tout. Est-ce que tu trouves comme, ça manque un peu de ça ici, comme au Québec, tu sais, comme dans Q ou dans cette affaire de même?
Je sais pas, mais ouais, c'est sûr que c'est spécial les student sections.
Il y a de la bonne ambiance. You know?
Ouais, c'est pas pareil. Mais ça fait longtemps que je suis pas allé à une game la GMQ, tu sais. Je me rappelle quand j'étais plus jeune, j'allais voir les Cataractes de Shawinigan. Je me rappelle de l'ambiance. Ouais. Mais non, je te dirais, ça fait longtemps que je suis pas allé voir une game, fait que je savais pas te le dire.
Nice. On parle, tu sais, thème NZ Coptar. C'est quel aspect de sa game que tu aimerais emmener en ta game?
Pas mal tout. Qu'est-ce que j'aime, c'est qu'il est capable de tout faire sur la glace. Il est capable de scorer, capable de passer, il est capable de jouer sur le power play, piquer. Il gagne ses face-off, il joue dans tous les sens de la patinoire. Fait que c'est vraiment ça que l'élément qui est capable de tout faire sur la glace. Plus c'est un leader national, il a gagné des Coupes Stanley. C'est vraiment ça que c'est pour ça que je modèle ma game après ce gars-là. C'est un bon exemple à suivre.
Tu es quand même un gros scoreur de but. C'est quoi ton plus beau but à vie?
Je sais pas, pour vrai. Sûrement un but en overtime de quand même pour faire avancer l'équipe. Mais sinon, mon plus beau, techniquement, je te dirais, cette année, contre NCDP, j'ai comme tombé sur mes genoux, puis là, j'ai scoré dans le top 9. C'était vraiment un beau but. Puis c'était comme ma 3e game de l'année. J'avais comme eu un showcase à Pittsburgh. J'avais pas vraiment bien joué. C'était pas au-dessus de mes attentes que je voulais aller. Puis je suis revenu sur cette game-là. J'ai scoré ce but-là. Fait que ça m'a donné un peu de confiance puis un petit boost d'énergie pour le reste de l'année. Puis, ouais.
Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un qui record les games?
Ouais, on a les broadcasts.
Okay. Puis t'aimes checker tes vidéos?
Ouais, bien, c'est sûr. Là, je te dirais, c'est sûr que je regarde mes buts, mes passes, tout, mais je regarde plus vraiment comme mes face-off, comme les routes que je prends à un centre, vraiment les petites choses techniques. Mettons, un fan des Canadiens regarderait pas ça en regardant une game normale.
Ouais,
j'étudie la game plus que je regarde comme un fan, mettons, je te dirais.
Ouais. Puis, tu sais, là, c'est dur, évidemment. Tu sais, on est au draft. Les rankings, à chaque jour, là, on peut te le dire, ça change de même. Là. Comme tout le monde, un qui était 4, maintenant il est 10, maintenant il est 15, maintenant il est 20. Ça va n'importe où. Est-ce que c'est... soyons honnêtes, est-ce que tu checkes souvent les rankings?
Ben, c'est sûr, j'y vois, là. On va pas se mentir, là. Le monde qui dit qu'il voit pas, c'est sûr qu'il voit.
C'est du capper.
J'ai mon téléphone, j'ai Twitter et tout. Des fois, je vois des listes.
T'as HFTV, là, ils postent la photo.
Exactement, c'est sûr.
Ça
mais, j'y vois les rankings, mais tu sais, on fait pas avec ça. Là, c'est comme, ça veut vraiment rien dire. À la fin de la journée, ça prend une équipe qui t'aime pour te repêcher, puis that's it, là.
Quand tu vas te faire repêcher vendredi, c'est-tu day one ou you made it?
Day one en voulant dire, c'est le commencement.
Ouais.
Commencement, c'est sûr.
Commencement.
Moi, que je me dis, c'est vraiment comme que je sois un choix de première ronde, 7e ronde ou undrafted. Le lendemain, je vais être au grand entraînement avec des joueurs que justement, ils n'ont pas été draftés, que c'est leur chance qu'ils ont, d'eux autres, puis ils ont tout donné. Puis c'est vraiment ça ma mentalité. Puis je dirais, j'ai hâte au draft, mais surtout hâte au camp d'entraînement après. Puis,
ouais. Ça, tu vas pouvoir te prouver.
Ouais, exactement. Je veux pas aller là. Même si je suis un choix de première, deuxième ronde, je veux pas me dire comme j'ai la tête enflée, je m'en vais là, je me avec tout le monde, je veux aller là, prouver que je suis prêt à travailler. Puis c'était un bon ton là, pour justement le restant de ma carrière. Là.
Au Combine, c'était quoi la question la plus weird qu'on t'a posée?
Il n'y en a pas vraiment, je te dirais, soit comme l'animal, là, tu sais, les Canadiens posent ça.
T'es quel animal?
Ils ont demandé lui sur la glace puis off the ice. J'ai dit sur la glace, j'ai dit un loup, c'est une meute de loups, on est tout le temps ensemble, pas le choix, utiliser des teammates. Puis hors la glace, j'ai dit le tigre, l'œil du tigre.
Ils t'ont demandé la question du sous-marin?
Non.
Non?
Ils m'ont posé une question d'avion comme.
C'est quoi?
C'était. Mettons dans l'avion, puis l'avion crash, comme c'est qui prend les en l'empire, c'est qui prend les commandes. J'ai dit moi, mais il a dit ouais, tu sais pas comment conduire l'avion. J'ai dit ouais, je suis pas suivi ça de personne, fait que je pense que je vais me croire à moi-même, tu sais. Des fois de même, puis ils m'ont posé il y a un 100$ dans la toilette avec comme de la marde dedans, ou il y a un 20$ à terre laquelle tu prends. J'ai dit je pogne lui dans les toilettes, puis je me lave des mains après, tu sais, dans les toilettes, il y a un robinet. Mais non, je te dirais ça, c'était les 3 questions.
Puis la question du snap score, t'as réagi comment quand tu
je me l'ont pas demandé.
Ils te l'ont pas demandé? Si te l'avais demandé?
Over under 100,000?
Over.
OK, moi je pensais que 100,000 c'était beaucoup, là, mais clairement, vous les kids, là...
Over under 500,000?
Over. Ça fait longtemps, je l'ai.
OK, fait que tu sors pas à Salt Lake City, là.
C'est quoi ça?
C'est eux qui ont demandé.
C'est vrai. Non, je sais pas, ils m'ont pas demandé, fait que je dois être correct.
Le Uber score, il est up or down?
C'est quoi ça?
Le Uber score. Apparemment, ça aussi, ils ont demandé.
Pas Uber.
Pas Uber.
J'ai un vélo, that's it, là. Cette année, j'habitais à Muskegon, justement. J'habitais à comme 4 blocs de l'aréna. Puis à tous les jours, que ça soit pluie, été, hiver, neige, tu sais, je m'en allais en vélo. Puis il y a comme une petite pente. J'y allais en vélo, s'il y a de la neige, je glissais. Puis les gars, j'arrivais en avant des équipes adverses, j'arrivais en vélo, puis ils me chirpaient un peu.
T'arrivais ça en vélo en soute?
Ouais, en soute. Ouais.
Non!
L'année passée, j'avais un roommate, Matthew Morton, il s'appelle, puis on arrivait comme on avait un vélo à 2 places dessus. On arrivait les deux en vélo avec nos suits, c'est drôle, là. Un petit pre-game routine.
C'est sûr que t'as déchiré un suit à un moment donné.
Non, même pas, je suis correct encore.
Un petit peu de graisse de bicycle sur le sein?
Tout arrivé, je le lavais après, mais non.
Tu mets pas des sous de porc, hein?
Non, moi, j'étais un gars foncé comme All Black, John Wick.
John Wick?
Ouais.
Mais c'est quoi la meilleure histoire que tu as eue avec un roommate? On parle du hockey, c'est un sport collectif, un sport d'équipe. C'est tous tes boys à la fin de la journée. C'est quoi la meilleure histoire que tu as vécue?
Je dirais cette année, comme pendant la fin de l'année, vraiment, tu sais, à Muskegon, des belles plages, toute l'équipe, on allait à la plage, regarder le soleil, on jouait une petite musique, puis personne ne disait un mot, c'était comme juste on enjoy the moment, puis sinon on allait sur la plage, on faisait des feux, puis on s'assisait en rond, puis on faisait comme parler de tout et de rien, puis c'est vraiment des belles histoires, une belle culture, tu sais, en voulant dire, on avait vraiment une belle culture d'équipe, puis c'est vraiment des bons souvenirs, là.
Puis t'avais mentionné, il y avait même un Slovaque sur ton équipe. So basically, là, si tu rencontres Slavkovski, là, tu y parles couramment, là.
J'ai peut-être une coupe de mots, mais pas plus que ça, là, non.
Coupe de mots, puis d'habitude, sont pas bons, là.
Ouais, exactement. C'est comme un anglais qui te demande dis-moi une coupe de mots en français, tu vas dire...
Ouais. Ils vont dire une niaiserie, là.
Une petite niaiserie.
Dans le repêchage, t'es rank à l'entour du 15e à la fin de la première ronde. C'est que, veut pas, le Canadien, il y a un choix là-dedans. Si on parle que les Québécois sont stressés d'aller au Canadien et tout, mais si tu es dans l'éventualité d'être repêché par Montréal, est-ce que tu vas vivre un stress ou de l'anxiété à cause de ça?
Non, vraiment. J'ai déjà dit l'avant, c'est comme moi, ça serait comme tous les Québécois, tu sais, veux pas, ça serait un rêve de jouer pour le Canadien de Montréal. Là, ouais. Depuis que je suis jeune, je regarde il y avait un qui s'est de Courvalet, je regardais ça, puis j'allais à plein de games des Canadiens de Montréal. C'est vraiment le fun de jouer pour le Canadien, c'est sûr. Puis le stress, comme j'ai dit, moi, dans le fond, j'ai pas vraiment de stress. Je joue au hockey, je fais ce que j'aime dans la vie. Le plus beau sport au monde, selon moi. Puis du vrai stress, je te dirais, c'est vraiment apporter la bouffe là, pour la table, pour ta famille. Ça, c'est du stress contrairement à moi. Je fais un jeu au hockey, puis j'ai du fun là-dedans. Puis enjoy the moment, c'est ça.
On t'a dit que ta famille était des grands fans du Canadien. S'il arrive, tu te fais repêcher par Boston, ils vont te mettre un chandail de toi?
C'est sûr. Je pense que j'ai un ami de mon père, il aime bien. Une couple d'amis de mon père aime bien Boston. Mais non, je pense que il me suivrait là-dedans.
Nice. Y a-tu un joueur ou un goaler que tu te sens prêt à affronter ou que tu as hâte d'affronter, puis il y en a d'autres que t'as un peu moins hâte?
Pour vrai, j'ai pas encore pensé. Je suis vraiment focus sur l'année prochaine, c'est North Dakota, je m'en vais à l'université. Je me focus plus là-dessus. Puis quand je vais hopefully me rendre dans la Ligue nationale, justement, je vais travailler pour ça. On va voir, là, rendu là, je vais faire mes petites notes, mais là, je me concentre sur l'NCAA.
Si un gars comme Mathieu Tkachuk qui vient après toi dans la Ligue nationale, qu'est-ce qui va se passer? Tu vas avoir peur?
S'il me demande de faire quoi?
Tu te demandes de te battre?
Ben non, j'avais pas peur.
T'as pas peur?
J'avais pas peur. Non.
Tu penses que t'es capable de le payer?
Ouais, je suis confiant.
Puis, tu sais, comme, mettons, tu sais, il y a eu les playoffs cette année. C'était quoi ton... En regardant ça comme un fan, c'était quoi ton plus gros takeaway?
Je te dirais, tu sais, il n'y avait pas beaucoup de lancers. C'était vraiment les opportunités étaient créées vraiment de rien. Comme un gros forecheck. Mettons, Sam Bennett va chercher une puck dans le coin, là, il t'a ramassé dans la madinette. Comme vraiment des petites affaires de même vite, des petits jeux qui arrivent vite comme ça, des opportunités, puis des low score games. Puis c'est vraiment ça qui m'a marqué.
Ouais.
Comment t'as fait pour que ton jeu défensif puis offensif soit autant bon dans les deux sens de la patinoire?
Gros du vidéo avec mon coach, je te dirais.
Ouais.
L'offensive, je pense que ça vient vraiment avec l'esprit, la mentalité offensive, puis pratiquer ta shot, tes patins. Plus tu as de skills, je pense, plus que tu es capable de le mettre ensemble. Ça prend vraiment du IQ aussi. Mais la défensive, je pense que c'est plus facile à apprendre. C'est vraiment plus, c'est plus comme willingness to do it. Puis c'est vraiment ça qu'il a fallu que j'apprenne. J'ai toujours été prêt de le faire. Mais tu arrives à un niveau junior, t'as pas le choix, les joueurs sont bons, t'as pas le choix de vouloir le faire, t'as pas le choix de le faire, sinon la puck va se ramasser dans ton net. Surtout un centre, t'es comme au milieu de tout, puis c'est vraiment gros du vidéo avec mes coachs au début de l'année passée qui m'ont amené là.
Puis en mettons, toi, c'est quoi le willingness? C'est quoi que les sacrifices que t'as dû avoir? C'est quoi que t'as dû donner pour te rendre là aujourd'hui? C'est quoi ton horaire typique en mettons dans une semaine?
Typique, j'ai commencé à m'entraîner, je me rappelle pas de pas m'avoir entraîné dans ma vie. Mon père m'a vraiment poussé tout. Chez nous, c'est comme les militaires, il faut que je fasse mon lien chaque matin. Tout est bien placé, tout est bien organisé. Puis c'est des petits sacrifices, des petits détails de même qui sont transmis dans ma game de hockey. Puis une horaire, mettons, l'été, je te dirais, je m'entraîne le matin comme 9h, mettons. Le mardi, jeudi, je vais patiner. Tout de suite après, mettons, je retourne chez nous, je mange, je me fais manger, je vais patiner. Après ça, soit je retourne au gym ou je vais à la boxe. Fait que, comme tous les jours, c'est comme 2 entraînements plus soit des pratiques ou je shot des pucks chez nous. Comme t'as pas le choix, si tu es un joueur de hockey, vraiment, c'est ça que j'aime le plus dans le monde. Fait que c'est comme pas un pain in the ass de faire ça. Moi, j'aime vraiment faire ça. Puis, je veux dire, c'est ça les sacrifices.
Il y a un autre gros prospect de Trois-Rivières, JT Mundell.
Ouais.
Tu t'es déjà entraîné avec?
Oui, je me suis entraîné justement. J'ai patiné avec 2 fois cette semaine. Vraiment, un bon gars, il travaille fort. Puis, juste des bonnes affaires à dire à propos de lui. Là.
Ouais, mais tu sais, il joue au séminaire comme t'avais.
Ouais, il joue au séminaire. Puis, tu sais, ça le voit, là, il s'est vraiment amélioré. Puis, non, je fais juste des bonnes affaires. Tu sais, j'ai d'autres. Tu sais, un exemple comme le gars, il veut vraiment s'améliorer. Justement, j'avais une pratique avec. Puis, il m'a demandé comme des petits trucs comme, mettons, comment faire ci, comment faire ça. Tu sais, c'est juste.
Ouais.
Qui veulent venir me voir, qui me demandent ça veut quand même beaucoup d'affaires.
Tu penses pas de commencer un TikTok Day One of Going the
Non, je penserais pas commencer ça, mais je vais laisser ça à GT,
Voilà, c'est iconique, là.
Ouais. C'est... Quand même, il y a des gars dans mon équipe qui parlaient de ça. Au début, je savais pas c'était quoi. Il y a un gars de mon équipe qui m'a montré ça, tu sais. Il a joué que t'as joué. J'ai dit, ouais, t'as pas ouais, t'es. Ouais, vraiment, moi, je trouve ça le fun. Là-dedans, il apprend l'anglais, puis.
Ouais.
Il reçoit comme des bâtons de Bauer, des patins custom, tout. Puis comme, c'est malade. Là,
il s'en va jouer Prep School, je pense.
Ouais, ça se peut.
U18. C'est qu'il m'a dit.
Ça se peut, ouais.
C'est quand même ça a amélioré, là.
Ouais, c'est le fun pour lui. Là. Moi, je suis vraiment content.
Moi, j'ai pas d'autres questions, toi, Ced?
Moi, avec. Mais en tout cas, merci beaucoup, Sacha.
Merci beaucoup.
C'est pour tout, man.
That's it.
Non, mais des chances.
Ouais, merci beaucoup.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mini Sticks podcast, episode number 3. Who do we got with us, Ced?
got the all-time record point holder as a defenseman for the National U.S. Development Program, Cole Hutson. How are you today?
Good, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Listen, there's a lot of reasons why you're here. You know why. Your brother was drafted by the Montreal Canadiens. You are, in a sense, very similar, but also you guys have your own little technicalities. You're a very smooth skater. You know, Lane is very explosive. How has it been, like, you know, growing up with a brother also, like, you guys play the same position? How did that end up working out?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's pretty cool growing up with three brothers that all play hockey and are super competitive with it. I mean, especially Lane, he's one of the most competitive guys you'll probably ever see play the sport of hockey. I mean, he's battled through those size allegations his whole life, and I think he's fought it off his whole life, and I think that just shows how hard we all compete.
Yeah.
I mean, you grew up with three brothers. Did you guys play other sport than hockey growing up?
I mean, pretty much anything that takes 4 brothers to play sports. I mean, played a little bit of football, a good amount of golf in the summers, but I mean, no, nothing too crazy.
I mean, it's like the perfect number of brothers to have. It's like 4.
Yeah.
It's like 2v2.
Pretty expensive, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, like, not only is it expensive, it's just like, I heard you guys bought your own arena. So you guys have your own little practice facility. No need to go to these big gyms with all those pro skaters. You guys have your own little thing right there. Like, what was this decision making behind that? Like, what was I think it was your dad that bought it. What did he say about that?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of just bought it because we loved the game so much. He loved it too. He played pro hockey for a little bit, and then he put us in skates at a pretty young age, and it's been our dream to win a Stanley Cup ever since then. So I think he kind of used it as an investment, but obviously he makes a little bit of money from it too.
Oh, okay, so he rents it out to other people,
Yeah.
I guess. Okay, cool.
Well-
and I mean, before that, like, did you guys have to go far to a different arena, or like?
Oh yeah, our team practices would be like an hour and a half away
Okay.
every day. So
Yeah, okay, so
that'd
that
be a
makes
lot
sense.
of driving on them. Yeah.
Okay,
What was usually the teams when you guys are playing sports and stuff like
like who
that?
were the duos?
Growing up, it'd always be me and Lane because obviously we're the middle brothers, and then Quinn and my little brother Lars, they'd be a team, but I'd say me and Lane would always get the better half of them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you guys have the most wins.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
yeah. That's how it used to be. You know, like I remember me and my cousins, like, we used to just have like mini stick tournaments. We'd like set up like lights and shit, and like I think it ended up being like me and my cousin were the most competitive, and my other cousins didn't really care. So the few times that you lost, you remember them. Was that the same for you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Obviously, you played in the National Development Program. What do you think makes this program like so much special? Like, they bring so much player to the draft, so much player are being NHL stars. What's the secret behind this program?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's probably just the hours we put in, the work we put in. I mean, you're there from 8 to 4 o'clock every day, so that's a solid amount of time, about like 2 hours in the gym and 2.5 hours on the ice every day. And when you go there, it's kind of hard not to get better. So, I mean, when you're 15 years old, that's definitely the spot you want to be.
And then after that, you got to study too at some point. I guess, I suppose.
I mean, 2 hours, an hour and a half a day. I mean, I'd say hockey was morely the priority there over school.
That's it. Yeah.
But you still got to get good grades.
Yeah. Exactly.
You have 3 brothers. What did your mom feed you like when you were young to be like NHL prospects and stuff like that, hockey studs?
I mean, like,
what's the secret recipe? Like, we want to
hard.
know.
It's hard to have one guy draft in the NHL. So now you got 2, and then, you know, your younger brother. There's good chances. I hear he has a hell of a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what she did with us. I mean, Lars has some weight to gain because he's pretty skinny right now. But I mean, he gained some weight, gained a few inches. I think he's got a good shot at the NHL too.
No, it's incredible. Like the percentage chance. Like, I don't think people realize like the percentage chances like of all like that happening sequentially it's insane.
Yeah.
So
you were a big Happy Gilmore fan. Is it a hockey or golf movie?
I'd say hockey movie.
That's
just because of his putter.
guys, the whole game is played on a green. Like how can
Yeah,
it be a
but what's he
hockey
putting with?
Okay, it's a hockey stick. It's a hockey stick, but like, I don't know. For me, like, and even the other guys back here, they all said golf movie. We all said golf movie.
It's a
He was
hockey-
the
it's
only
a
guy.
hockey movie.
It's a
hockey
hockey
movie.
You guys
In
stuck
the
with
intro,
hockey.
where do they start off? He gets cut from a hockey team on the
Okay,
ice.
fair. Fair. But I mean, after that, did they go on the ice again?
He didn't even want to play golf, though.
Yeah.
Listen, I think it's a heated debate. We'll let the comments decide. What do you guys think? It's a hockey movie or a golf movie? I'm still not convinced either way. So
It's a hockey movie.
yeah, I bet you're gonna say that. It's very convenient for you.
Do you think, like, if Happy Gilmore, like, were to get drafted in the AHL, what do you think would be his best attribute as a player?
Oh, I mean, his toughness probably. He'd probably go out there to kill penalties and block shots, but nothing more than that.
Yeah, listen, Shooter McGavin. What would he do to Shooter McGavin?
Oh, I don't know. He can probably honestly be like a one-timer guy, too, because he can bomb the ball on the core, so he can probably rip a puck, too.
Were you a big golf guy?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Growing up, every summer, I haven't played much this summer, it's just been pretty busy, but the past summers, we've been out there like every other day on the course.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, out of the four brothers, who do you think is the best golfer?
My oldest brother, definitely Quinn.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's definitely the best, but Lane's pretty bad. Lars is okay. And I'd say I'm second.
Fair enough.
Did you go to Top Golf yet?
Top golf, sorry?
Did you go to
Top Golf in Vegas.
In
Oh, I
Vegas.
There's
haven't,
that big
no.
driving range, like overlooking the whole city.
No, I haven't gone there, no.
Oh, there you
probably
go.
should.
Gave a good idea to go do in Vegas.
So we heard your favorite team was the Boston Bruins. Were you a little feisty when your brother got drafted to the Montreal Canadiens?
I mean, not really, because before the draft, I'm not sure if you guys know, there were a few fans with shirts that had Lane's face on them. So before he even got drafted, too. So when I saw that, I was like, this is the place for him. He's got to get drafted here. And he ended up did. And the fans kind of got crazy when he got drafted there. So I could really care less where he went.
I remember, like, it was like the beginning of the second round, and I remember watching Twitter, and like everyone's like, someone's got to pick Lane. Someone's got to pick Lane. And then as every pick was going on, we were all dying. We were like, someone is gonna pick Lane. Please let him fall to us after. And then it eventually did. It was beautiful. I hope you guys don't have to live through the same stress as that was.
Yeah, I hope
with you.
not. That'd
I
be
really
brutal.
hope not, man. Like that was insane. That was insane. But I mean, look, clearly the Coles on your team have been doing pretty well. You got top scoring defenseman. You got Cole Iserman. Like you guys just like. Well, I feel like definitely the most offensive USA team in a very, very long time this year.
Yeah, I'd say we're definitely up there. I mean, when you got a guy that can shoot the puck like that, and a guy like James Hagen's one of the most skilled players, I think.
Yeah.
Not in the NHL right now, and yeah, he sees the ice unbelievably well, and I think we all complement each other in our own ways.
I mean, we've seen the draft rankings this year. It's kind of a roller coaster. Everything goes up, everything goes down. How often do you look at your ranking?
Yeah, not really at all. I mean, I can honestly care less where I get drafted. And when I get drafted, obviously, the first round's really cool and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you still got to prove yourself at the next level. And I think the only reason you'd want to get drafted in the first round is because maybe you make a little bit more money.
I mean, that's really the only difference. In both cases, you're playing in the NHL.
Yeah.
Like, at this
exactly.
point, there's been so many second, third, fourth round picks that make the NHL that it's like, it doesn't really mean the same thing as it used to before, in my opinion.
Exactly, yeah.
Who was your favorite player growing up, or who's a player that you're looking up to?
Yeah, when I was really young, I liked Patrick Kane, obviously, his Stanley Cup runs, and it kind of filtered into a lot of David Pastrnak. I loved watching him. He's my favorite player to this day, and I think he's just he's kind of a personality guy, which I like, and he's a stud on the ice, too.
Mm-hmm.
What's part of his game that you want to bring to yours?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, his skill and his shot. I mean, I'll never be able to shoot as good as him, but the way he can rip the puck is pretty crazy.
It's funny how you say you said only forwards. Is there like a D that you're looking up to? Like you're a pretty offensive guy. Why don't you play? Like, what makes you click? I want to play D instead of forward.
Yeah, I mean, when I was young, I kind of played everywhere. I played up a few age groups, so I kind of didn't really get to pick my spot on the team. So I kind of played anywhere throughout the lineup. And I think when I was maybe 7 or 8, my dad threw me on defense, and I've been there ever since. And I mean, offense is the best part of the game and most fun. So, and you don't really have to play D if you have the puck on your stick. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, that's a nice quote to have. That's a good one-liner. I mean, but I'm sure that like some coach along the way has any coach like along the way even suggested you going off like offense, or like most have been like, nah, D is your spot.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried offense a few times, and I don't really think it's for me. I don't really like cheating the game that much, so I just like staying back and being calm with the puck.
Okay, fair enough.
That's nice. You played at Brick Tournament. Who was a player you saw when you were younger, or you played with it or played against, that you're like, oh shit, that guy's going to go far?
There were plenty of guys back then that were pretty good. I mean, a guy like Macklin, obviously, he tore up that tournament. I'm pretty sure he won it that year. I'm not too sure, though. But, yeah, he was a stud back in the day, and he still is.
I mean, listen, other than that, I mean, Edmonton, I'm sure you didn't do much else there. There's pretty much the mall.
The mall was pretty cool, but, I mean, I got lots of family out there. So
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and Edmonton, Calgary, not too far apart. So we saw a lot of them when we were at that tournament, and I mean, yeah, it's a pretty cool spot.
Okay, so you have some Canadian lineage, I guess?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, this year, Panthers, Oilers, who did you have?
I had the Oilers winning for sure, but
Yeah,
I mean,
came close.
I kind of just wanted McDavid to win because a reverse sweep would have been pretty crazy. It would have been like Michael Jordan type of stuff. So
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I definitely wanted him to win, but the Panthers definitely earned it.
big time. I mean, like you lose in a final like that, like you have no, like, the Panthers had no choice but to win it the next time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For
So
sure.
I mean, like, I think for you guys at BU, I think you guys lost the final this year. So I'm guessing this next year, I think you guys got to win it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
100%. I mean,
100%.
listen, we know what happened that game, the call at the end of the game. We all know. Hopefully next year, you guys get some better refereeing, man.
You also played at Pee Wee Quebec. Between the Brick and Pee Wee Quebec, what was the best tournament?
Oh, Pee Wee Quebec. I mean,
yeah.
you're playing in an NHL rink as a 10-year-old, and the Quebec fans kind of pack it too. So that's always a pretty cool tournament to play in. I've been there a few times watching my brothers too. Both my brothers played in it, so I knew what I was getting into going there. And I mean, yeah, it was one of the coolest tournaments to this day.
Did you guys go far in the tournament?
No, we lost after like 2 games.
Man, go home early. That's not fun.
You were drafted by the Kingston Frontenacs. What made you choose the NCAA, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, I followed my brothers and everything they've done growing up. I mean, I always wanted to be like my brothers, Lane and Quinn, so they kind of picked BU, and I mean, I've been following everything Lane's done, so I'm like, why not just keep following? He's done so well at every level, and maybe I can just keep on carrying his legacy a little bit.
Yeah, big time. It's a shame that you guys never got to play together.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a shame and also like a good thing, you know. I mean, like
Yeah,
Lane,
take ice time away from me. So.
that's it. Like power play. Like what? You guys are both left shot Ds too,
Yeah.
right? So it's like,
I mean, maybe stick us both on there. So,
yeah.
but you never know. I don't know.
Do you feel like you could ever play the right side?
I mean, I've played a little bit this year on the right side too, but I mean, left's definitely my strong suit, but I feel comfortable either side.
I don't know.
The draft combines question, did your brother help you prepare yourself a little bit?
No, I was texting him like 20 minutes before I went into the interview with them, and he told me to say a shark, and I just texted him, I'm going to throw a complete curveball at them, and I told them narwhal, so they were kind of like
What's
appalled
the
that I
thinking
just said
behind that?
I mean, I don't really know. They're kind of like one of a kind animals, so I mean, pretty rare too. So yeah, I mean, I just threw it at him, kind of as jokes a little bit.
I mean, listen, like at this point, it's such a famous question that like I almost even wonder why they still ask that question.
What's the weirdest question you got asked?
Probably that.
Yeah.
Probably that.
Not the snap question?
I didn't get that one. No,
No.
No?
I don't really go on Snapchat that much anyway. So
Over under 100,000?
under.
Under?
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
that's the
Shit.
that's the first one today.
That's the
90,000, I think.
Yeah, you see, that's it. Okay, so you know, EJ had over 100,000.
He's got
obviously.
like 2 million.
We got another guy at like 1.2 million. That's great.
It's insane. It's insane. I don't know. Did they? Because I think it also came up that apparently they were asking the Uber score. You're a good Uber passenger.
I like to think so. I mean, I don't really Uber that much. I mean, my brothers normally put it in their phone, so they can take the charge for
Yeah,
it.
they take the charge if anything bad happens.
But I
it's
mean,
going
yeah,
on
I
their
mean,
thing.
I think I'm pretty decent.
Did the Montreal Canadiens ask you the submarine question?
The submarine question?
Nah, I guess not.
I guess not.
I guess they asked like I think last year they asked Reinbacher like if there's a submarine going towards a target and you had your friend swimming in the water, like
Would you
what do
blow it
do?
up?
Would you blow it up?
I have no idea. No,
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
hear
it.
that one.
That's it. I'm not even
It's
asking you to
pretty
answer
crazy,
that
though.
question. It's like, I don't even. I personally wouldn't even know what the answer to that.
Yeah, me too. Are you stressed or like what are you feeling before an interview with the team?
No, I'm not stressed at all. I'm just trying to enjoy it and kind of have fun here. And I know learning from Lane, obviously, he was pretty stressed during his draft year. And I know he probably didn't enjoy it quite as much as he wanted to, but he got picked to an amazing team. And I'm just hoping the same.
I mean, I guess the last question that I've got, or unless you've got,
I've got something. EJ told us a couple stuff. You seem a little bit scared, man.
No, not at all.
Did you DM Anna Fry yet?
I did, yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
She answered?
No.
listen, man, soon, eventually,
Happens.
it's an eventual
Oh,
thing.
yeah. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, she's way too famous for me, but I mean, if she's watching this, maybe you can open it or maybe not. Either's fine.
But you got to be an NHL player at some point. So
We hope.
That's it.
she could be an NHL wife.
NHL wife, yo, I'm not against that.
Second TikTok famous NHL wife after Dixie D'Amelio. That would be good.
Basically, well, Tate McRae technically,
Tight.
it lasted a very short time.
And last question by EJ. Why are you so mad?
What?
Why are you so mad?
I don't even get that.
I don't know. He says,
don't
well,
know.
he said, why is he always so angry? That's what he
Yeah.
said.
I'm not mad. I'm just kind of laid back a little bit. I mean, I am happier than I look. I just got that resting face, kind of, but.
Resting face.
But I mean, yeah, he probably just thinks I'm pissed all the time, but I'm not.
What's
Yeah.
something you could tell us on EJ?
His Snapchat score is insane. It's at least 2 million. I can probably pull it up right now.
Yeah, that makes a
pretty
lot of
mean,
sense
though.
with EJ. I mean, he
Oh,
likes
yeah.
to talk a lot.
He loves his Snapchat.
Yeah.
Talks to a lot of girls. He's kind of all over the place, but I respect it.
I respect the grind. Everyone has their grind, right?
Yeah.
So this is part of his grind. I can't say, yo, listen, if he's projecting to come out where he's coming out,
keep doing it.
just keep doing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
literally, just keep DMing girls on Snapchat.
Keep talking to the
That's
girls.
the main takeaway of this podcast. Whatever we talked hockey and everything, that was the main takeaway.
Keep talking to girls.
That's it. All right, well, we'll end it right there. Thank you guys very
What,
much for
last
watching.
question?
What? No,
Yeah,
I'm good. I got
good?
my last question. Thank you guys very much for watching. Cole Hutson, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if we need another left shot D, but if we do, it's got to be this guy. Thank you very much.
See you.